lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change.
Well, hello there. Hello, Darren. Hello, Suzanne. If you are monetized and you have a membership area, from now on, YouTube is allowing you to give away. They say one membership per month, but for some reason, I was able to give away 10. Although I don't know, maybe I can check and see. Are those like the basic membership or premium squash level? So basically, it's free. You don't make any money out of it, but you can give away some membership. So it's a good way for you, anyone with a channel, to just advertise yourself, I guess. Those 10 people that won a free membership will probably be back, even if it's only to watch one video or like one photo, just because they saw probably something in their email saying that they won a free membership. So I have Ronaldo Arsenault, Suzanne, you won a free membership, Jody Swanson, Lee at Fisherman 506, Cindy Squirrel Off Grid, Dan Gear Gridden 19, Eldan, Lewis from It's the Marshmallow Man, How to Garden, Northumberland Acres, 10 free membership for a month, which is pretty cool. Hello, Dave. Nice to have you here. Last week, yeah, you were a member until a few days ago because I still had you in my oh cool, I didn't know that StreamYard would do that. Down here up to last live stream you were still in there, and now I'm gonna have to put your names again. Hello, John. Nice to have you here. I was hoping that someone would join me tonight. Nobody seems interested in coming up. That's okay. I still have a few things that I wanted to talk about and a few things that I wanted to show you. I just want to see. Okay. Can I edit audio avatar? Huh. Let's see. I have a little test for you. So, do you see my new logo? I know, Darren, you've seen it before. Gardener Josh, nice to have you here. So yeah, I changed my logo a little bit just because I am hoping to change my whole channel. It used to be a chicken and a rabbit, and now it's going to be a deer and a grouse. And the reason for that is because I want to go back. I'm not going to say back to basics, because basically being a homesteader is kind of what it is. The garden and all that stuff. But I wanna go back into nature. I want to go back outside. I want to go. The best days of my life when I was a kid were when I was building stuff, little shelters and little what we called caban. Just little tree houses and things like that. Making small trails. Never something big enough for a car to go in or an ATV to go in, but simply something that we could walk and know where we're actually going. So I want to do more hiking, fishing, hunting, because basically this is the stuff that's been working for me. The videos that get more views are my hunting videos, fishing videos. There's one video where I was snowshoeing and putting snares for rabbits here, and those are the videos that were working better. So I figured, why not? This is something I love doing, and this might bring back my childhood, some good childhood memories. And let's face it, I know a lot more about surviving in the wild than what I know about gardening. I'm not a gardener. I'm not. I love it. I love doing it. I'm learning, thanks to most of you here. Gardener Josh, Thorhaven Farm, John Faulkner, Dave Knight. I've been learning from you guys for the past couple of years, really. There's also, Annie Back to Basics Homestead and Marilena Little Homestead by the Beach, Tihan 141 Homestead, Tracy, Mike and Angie, Lynn Bucket List Homestead, Mike and Angie and Me and New Acres. Of course, there are some channels like Justin Rhodes and Sow the Land, and My Gardener. Those are incredible channels. But I've been learning by chatting and putting my hands in the soil while receiving tips from my good friends. So, I don't really consider myself a gardener at this point, at least not yet. But I've been hunting with my dad since I was, I don't think I was even old enough to walk. He put me in a truck and in my car seat and would go grouse hunting. I would watch hunting videos in the living room, playing hunting games, those make-believes. My brother would get up on the living room coffee table with the moose caller and start calling, and I'd be making as though it was a moose, and I would have to come out, and he had those little bows and arrows, plastic ones, and would have to try it and hit me. And we were young, and we love fishing, we love hunting. My kids are just the same. It is dark. I don't know. There's nothing different than usual. I actually have. Maybe I should. If I open this light, I don't know. I feel like it's not as cozy. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Louis. Tiffany. Thank you for being here. And we go out making trails, making little tree houses, making little shelters. I was raised watching the hunting and the survival TV shows, going out to those hunting and fishing. What's it called? They used to call it. It was in French back in the days called des soirées chasse et pêche. So chasse et pêche means hunting and fishing. So it was those like big nights of hunting and fishing. Professionals making videos, and those were the days. This is one of the things I remember as a kid. I remember going out with my parents, harvest hazelnuts. I remember going out in the field to harvest wild strawberries. Those are the things that I didn't think back then that it meant a lot other than, eating something that was good. Not only was it a wonderful time with my parents, but they were teaching me things that I didn't know I loved back in the days. Teaching me things that, yes, I've been harvesting hazelnut and made tons of money. Well, as a kid, I was 13, 14. You make a few $100s selling hazelnuts. You're kind of proud of yourself. It wasn't thousands of dollars. It was a few hundreds. But it made me love those kind of things. Hello, Jotham. Nice to have you here as well. It's part of the new look. No. In fact, my new look, I will get to that in a few seconds, but I have a few things to show you, and it's going to be interesting. Just to finish my story, foraging course will come in handy for sure. I learned how to make salve and paste, if we can call it a paste. It's kind of a wax, really, that you can spread on your skin. It's a topical ointment, kind of, that I learned how to make. I'm into the medicinal herbs right now, so I find it pretty cool. All the foraging is amazing. When you start learning, you focus on one plant at a time. You look at one plant and you're like, okay, I want to learn about one plant that I can use either as a spice or as a tea. You focus on that one, you learn everything there is to know about that one, and suddenly all the other ones become clear. You kind of understand more what to look for, what can be dangerous, what can be good, how to use it, what to do with it. I'm not saying I could survive a year in the wild without help. That's not what I'm saying at all. I would probably lose a lot of weight, be skinny, and probably get sick and eventually die at some point if I did that. But I could probably survive a lot longer than a lot of other people, because it's what I've been doing my whole life without realizing. Building shelters. I remember making a treehouse when I was 14. It might not seem like a big thing, but it was about 3 kilometers from my house, in the middle of the woods, and we would go and sleep in it until some young bullies went over and destroyed it. But hey, that was 30 years ago, right? Like 25, 30 years ago. But we used to sleep in there. I've been foraging things that I thought was just common. Hazelnuts. You guys don't have that in the States. I'm not even sure if you have that in Ontario, Dave. You might have some sorts of hazelnut, but you probably don't have the long beak hazelnut like we have here. For me, blueberry is like simplest thing ever because I learned when I was a kid what a blueberry was and what to look for. Now, if I see a look-alike, I know that it's not a blueberry without even thinking. It's because I was exposed to it often, and I was taught when I was young. Blueberries, yay! You have a lot on your property too, Darren. So it's only normal knowing that I was going to change my channel a little bit and try to go a little bit more that way. Like I'm still going to garden. I'm still going to spend a ridiculous amount of hours outside in the spring, in the summer, planting, harvesting, caring for my plants and my vegetables. But it's not something I'm going to show as much. It's been more vlogging than teaching, really, because I don't know everything about gardening, and I feel like I'm teaching to some people that know more about gardening than me. Hello, Marty. Nice to have you here. We are getting 1,000 blueberry plants for free next spring. Wow, that's nice. I'm just hoping you have acidic soil. That's one thing I know. I've been struggling with them for so long because my soil is not acidic enough. And there's no really simple way to get it done long term. You will always have to replenish the acid in the soil unless you have natural soil, the nice, perfect soil for blueberries. So, a lot of peat moss, and I'll be doing pine wood chips. Nice. That's great. I tend to go a little bit more towards the honeyberries as caps because they don't require acidic soil as much as blueberries. They're a little bit easier to keep, although I haven't been able to harvest much in the past couple of years. But Marilyn keeps telling me that it takes 4 or 5 years. And it was year 4 this year, but I had to relocate them. So the transplanting probably didn't help. So yeah, knowing that I was going to change my channel, I wanted to have things for Christmas that were going to be helpful. How can I teach people about survival if I don't have anything to show for? It might not necessarily be me going out in the woods, talking and chatting and showing you, hey, this is how you do quick shelter or things like that. It might be me. I'm still probably going to go with the vlogging thing, but I'm going to try to do some quiet videos where I'm just going to film myself doing what I do so that people understand what I'm doing, but without having me talking the whole time. ASCAP really rocked this year. So 4 years or so since we planted. Nice. So maybe next year. I have a bunch of bushes, and I'm hoping to be able to propagate a few of them at least. The first thing I purchased when I decided to change my channel, it doesn't seem like much, but I just thought it was cute. And it was this here because I want to go, if I go hiking, I want to be able to go out there and eat in the wild. You have the spoon, and if I open the fork, they split up. So you would have the fork and the spoon, and this was only about $10 at Walmart. Like, it's not anything very expensive. I like it because it also has a little can opener, and it has a little tiny knife. You know, it turned out to be wonderful little presents for kids. I mean, it's nothing much. Like, you're not gonna defend yourself against a bear with that knife, but it might just be enough to, if you bring butter or if you bring anything to make a sandwich, it might be good enough to spread on your bread, or it might be enough to chip some the like the spruce sap or anything like that. Um, you know, and it still has a fork and a spoon. So this fits well in your pocket. It fits well in the backpack. It doesn't take any space, and it has at least 3 different purposes. 4. So I thought it was pretty cool. And like I said, Walmart, it was only about $10. And this is a company, I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. I just thought that it was pretty cool. You're jealous of the ASCAPs, I'm guessing. Good evening, nice to have you here. Wickershire Project Off Grid. I have 4 ASCAP bushes. I'll be splitting the 2 larger ones. I wonder if you split them, if you might damage the roots. But like I said on Tracy's live yesterday, one thing you can do is simply, if you have one branch that's lower and closer to the soil, just remove the bark, put some soil, just put like a rock just to keep some weight on the branch to make sure it stays on the ground, and wait like 2-3 months, and then it should have roots that you can just cut the branch and transplant it somewhere else. I've never had ASCAP before. It's on my try list. It tastes, I find it's like a mix between blueberries and raspberries. Might be, maybe people don't necessarily agree with me, but I find that it's a little bit, it has the taste of a blueberry, but a little, I don't know, fruity, a little bit more fruity taste, like raspberries. That's a good question. Yeah, kids eat them in yogurt and smoothies before we get to. Yeah, I didn't get enough to even think about doing that, but I would love to try honeyberry or Camry's ASCAP. Depends on what you want to call it. Pie must be awesome. Must be delicious. Yeah. I doubt that I could defend against. Well, the bears we have here are black bears. I doubt that I would even risk it. I would probably trust my fist and my feet more than my little tiny knife I have there. Didn't work for me, but blueberries grow everywhere. Maybe ASCAP doesn't like acid soil. Maybe. And maybe, that's one of the reasons why your blueberries are doing so well there. I find that sometimes instead of just fighting against nature, just embrace what they're giving you. They're giving you a chance to grow blueberries. Go ahead and do it. If they're like, for me, they're giving me a chance to grow. We have choke cherries everywhere and apple trees everywhere. And I've been trying for so long not to have any of those trees here because they're free all around. But I don't think there would be anything better than seeing the kids go out, just grab an apple and put it in their lunchbox and go to school, It's like a grocery store that's free after a while. It takes a few years to give you your money back worth of apples, but once it's there, it's free food. They like colder climates, but Jotham is in a cold climate. I think your zone, you told me before, either zone 3 or 4. I think you're similar to my climate. They have to go through stratification. Yeah. We have snow right now. It's snowing today. We've had first green Christmas since 2009, maybe. Uh, I think it's the third green Christmas I see, and usually we would have a storm by now, and maybe the snow would have melted. But not having snow, like we've had maybe like an inch of snow in the whole month of December and November and October. Um, Everything melted, so we had a green Christmas, and today we finally had real snow, which I'm a little bit sad. Even though I know it's winter, we're gonna get snow. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Okay, not for me. Is between blueberry and currant for me. Yeah, okay, that would make sense. Yeah. Um, uh, she was eating. We got about 6 pounds of choke cherries, Viking Aronia, and working on some recipes for them. I want to make wine. Um, Cherry wine is freaking amazing. There are certain strains of ASCAP that will be okay in lower zones. I think I saw zone 7 was okay. Our winter is mild. Yeah, well, you have some positive and negative about that. I talk to some people sometimes, and they're like, I don't know how you guys can do it in Canada, living in the cold like that. But at the same time, I don't know how you guys can just go deer hunting, sit in a blind, knowing that you might have a snake attacking you or a spider killing you, you know? Like, I know it's not everywhere. It's probably not something that happens too often, but we can leave our children outside without fear of them being attacked by an animal. Um, yes, there were like a few bears poking around garbage bins and stuff, in the past, but if the kids are playing and laughing and being loud, bears will stay away. And I was I was doing a little survey, little questionnaire about if I had what it takes to survive, and one of the question was odd. Uh, Sorry, the question was, and maybe I should put it here. Participant moderation timestamp. Nope, not here. Start a poll. Okay. What animal do you fear the most between the following? Here. So, what animals would you fear the most if you went face to face with them in the wild? Bears, cougars, moose, or deer? And I'm going to give the answer to the question that I had because I want you to see that it doesn't really make any sense. Um, Personally, I'd be more afraid of a cougar if I saw one. Then it would be bear. Um, but around here, my biggest fear going out is none of those things. It's coyotes. Um, we we have so many coyotes, and I hear people saying that they will never attack. We don't hear them, but it's frightening a little bit when you go out in the woods and you hear them howling all around you. Um, But okay, let's go down in the chat a little bit, and I will come back to that question later. 6 votes, and it's 50-50 for cougars and moose right now. Makes sense for a new look. Not much light in the woods. So you're zone 5. Okay, I thought you were zone 4. So you're a little bit warmer than me. You're more like Back to Basics Homestead. So for the new direct of the channel, do you have any spring hunts there? Yes, I'm hoping to be able to do that this year as well. And if the winter keeps going the way it is now, I might even be able to go and get like a stand ready, a little blind ready earlier, and be able to start hunting earlier. We have black bear hunt here, and I've been buying my license for the past, well, not for the past so many years, maybe 5 times in my life. I went hunting, like real hunting, maybe like twice. I buy my tag and I'll bring the rifle if I go out, but I'm not necessarily going to hunt bear. But this is something I'm hoping to do. I have my GoPro here, and I'm hoping to be able to do a lot of things with that. 2024, we will be showcasing our celestial fig tree. It did produce two fruit. Now going on the 2nd year, 1 year at the growers. We have high hopes. Nice. On point. I'm doing 8 p.m. my time now, Tracy, which means 7 p.m. your time. Simply because Scott and Rambling with the Brooms had no other time to do his live streams, and he picked the same time as me. So instead of just fighting with the subs to get, more people watching me than him or whatever, I figured I was going to start early. If you want to stay here, fine. If you have somewhere to go, fine. And if you want to go watch Scott's live stream, fine as well. Like, there's no... I'm not mad at him or anything. It's just, I understand, and YouTube is for everyone. It's just that I figured, why not just go an hour earlier and, maybe get some more people, and then I can go on his live stream. Choke berries, not cherries. They're called choke cherries. Bears will mind their own business. Most of them are feeding and scavenging. They really do not like interactions with humans unless we train them to come to us. Yes, and if you don't spook them, and if you don't get between the mother and the cubs, I wouldn't like seeing a mother with the cubs without a weapon to defend myself in the woods. I'm not sure. Polar bears and Komodo dragon. Yeah. Well, luckily for us, we don't have polar bears around here. Although lately they started seeing some on icebergs, not too far from Newfoundland and Quebec. I don't know if it's a peninsula or whatever you call it there, but cougar, the 2-leg kind. They scare you, Dave? You shouldn't be scared of those. Wasp nest. Yeah, I can see that being dangerous. If you ever get lost in the woods, it's a toss between moose and cougar. The only reason I would say cougar is because they're unpredictable. If they decide to go after you, there's not much you can do. But, just hope that you can hit them before they hit you, and probabilities are not in your favor. Black bear, usually the bears, if you are being, well, I don't know about grizzlies. I was not raised around the grizzly bears, so I don't know how they act. But the black bears, if you're being loud, chances are they'll be out of your way before they get to you. Moose, I've seen moose from up close, and unless they're in the rut, they're usually not that bad. I was fishing on a beaver dam at some point, and a small young bull moose Well, I say a young one. It had little tiny pallets on a head on his heads on its head. My English is rusted tonight, and I didn't think it was such a big moose. But then again, now that I think about it, that was in June. Um, June, maybe early July. So give the moose another 3 months. The rack on his head could have been a lot bigger. Um, and it just came in the pond, drank some water. I had to remove my line from the water because I didn't want him to get stuck on my hook. That's how close he was. Like I could have thrown my hat at him and hit him with my cap, with my hat. And I've said that story before, but it was funny because I was with my younger brother, and I was maybe, I'm gonna say 16 years old because my parents did not want me to drive the ATV before I was 16, and my brother is 6 years younger than me, so he was probably around 10. We were there fishing on a beaver dam, and I had the key to the ATV in my pocket. Thank God I did, because as I was there fishing, minding my own business, and just like, my brother was beside me, and I wanted to catch like one fish and give him the rod. And so we were about 6, 7 fish in, and back in the days it was 10 fish each, so we were allowed 12 between 20 between the both of us. And suddenly he just lets go of everything and starts running off on the beaver dam. Like, I don't remember seeing a kid running that fast, especially not on a beaver dam with a bunch of branches coming out of everywhere. And all I could hear was, a moose, a moose, a moose. And I looked up, and it was already on the ATV, and it would have probably been around like 40 feet, maybe 50 feet away from where I was. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I turned back up, and the moose was right there in front of me, like, I'm going to say 10 feet ahead of me, but probably even closer than that. And he just went on with his life. The moose drank a little bit of water and left. But by the time I realized, I start going slowly towards the ATV. But then, it was kind of pointless to stay there after the moose disturbed the water and it was all dirty, and we just figured we'll go find somewhere else. But it was just funny. That's a story that I'm gonna ask him if he remembers that next time I see him. Deer than bear than cougar than moose. Zero interest in trusting moose. Ask anyone that lives in Maine about their 2 tons of fun. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm being foolish, but I'm not afraid of moose. Not at all. I feel like a cougar would hunt us down. If they were really hungry, I can see that happening. Coyotes will not attack a healthy adult human. They will, however, get really close, and it is scary. Yeah, cougars regularly attack humans. We don't have cougars around here where I'm from. We have some Canadian lynx, and I've seen a few, and it's such a beautiful animal. I was deer hunting a few years back, and I looked down under some spruce, and it was green with some white because we had snow back then, and all you could see was a green. And suddenly I looked, and the lynx was where this little ray of sunlight was, and it was like almost like a cartoon or a movie. You could see the lynx with the sun right on him, clear as day. Like, it was a bright silver color. It was so beautiful, but I didn't stay there. I don't know if a lynx would actually attack a human, but I didn't want to try. I didn't want to find out. Just have to set 7 p.m. Yeah. It's okay, I guess. I miss half your lives anyway, so even if you're late to mine, I'm not going to complain. In the wild versus normally busy forest, huge difference. Yeah, true. Depending if there's human activity or not, animals can be more adapted around humans, and that could be dangerous, or in some cases that could be even a good thing if you see them, because Okay, choke cherries are cherries. Choke berries are Viking ammonia berries, different from cherries, more antioxidant than blueberry. Okay, well, what we have here are choke cherries. Well, anyway, I've always called them choke cherries. In 30 years, 160 coyote attacks happened, mostly in LA County. Leave it to California to have. um, it happened here, I'm going to say about 15, 20 years ago. It was in Nova Scotia. Um, it was all over the news when it happened. It was a bunch of, I'm going to say teenagers, but maybe early 20s, being in a tent. And they had to call 911. Now, they were not attacked per se, but they were scared because they could hear the coyotes getting closer and closer and closer. And if they're starving, I can see them attacking. Bears are opportunists. The end. They are judging and making a call in their head. Yeah, black bears don't scare me after hunting them and realizing how scared they are of us, unless with cubs. Brown, grizzly, polar are different. Yeah. Um, brown bears, I've never seen any either. I don't think we have them around here. Maybe we do, but we definitely don't have grizzly and we don't have polar bears. So, how is the survey going? Right now, we have 9 votes. So, one person said they're scared of bears, 4 said cougars, and 4 said moose. The answer to the question I don't agree with, yeah, it was in the US, was deer. And I spoke to someone about that, and she was like, yeah, but they do that survey, they do that that little quiz, not really reading the situation behind it. They probably just went on and typed in on Google, how many people died from because of a deer, how many people died from a bear, how many. If you have 20 accidents per day, people hitting deer, chances are you're going to have one person that dies. If you attack a deer, people are farming deers, people are hunting deers. There's a lot more deers than any other animals in the list that we have there. And I don't know, I guess there's more people dying from deers than any of those animals. I also hear that the moose can be one of the most dangerous animals. I was raised around them. I'm not afraid of them. I mean, what's the worst it can do? Charge me? I'm gonna hide behind a tree. At some point, it'll give up. If I just run around the tree, he's a lot bigger than me, and he has 4 legs to turn around. He's gonna be a lot slower than me. Now, I'm not saying it would be the same thing if I had kids with me, but if I have a machete or an axe and I go face to face with a moose, unless I'm in the middle of a cutting, I like my chances. Bears, not as much, but I would fight with all I've got. A cougar, you just have to hope you hit him first. You have to stab him. You need to use your knife and stab the cougar before he gets a chance to claw you. A deer is pretty quick, but they're usually afraid of humans. So if he attacks you, it's because you really spooked him and you're after his dough. So just get out of the way, get out of there, and hope for the best. You know, Chicago Bears are tame. Yeah, those are different kind of bears. Yeah. If you've seen the video, you know that I was still being cautious when I moved up to that moose. I walked up to him, but he was maybe 20 feet from me when I saw him the first time. And I had to go across the cutting. I didn't want to go back in the trail I came back from because it was a pain in the butt to get there. Um, um, and the moose was right. It didn't want to move. It was a calf. It didn't look really dangerous, but you never know. If he starts running towards me, I would have had to use self-defense and put him down. You know, I had a rifle. I was hunting deer. On point. NW Bear gives out burgers. Yeah, but now they started giving what's it called? Better than meat or whatever. The false meat burgers. Those bears are dangerous, man. I tell you. Where's the cougars? Hey, Dan. Good evening. Nice to have you here. Always treat wild animals as wild animals. Never travel alone in the woods unprotected. Yeah, exactly. And it might sound crazy, but even a grouse can be dangerous. If you go after the little babies, the grouse will attack you. It will go try to stab you in the eyes with his claws and his beak. It probably won't kill you, but it's not fun. It's not going to be fun. Lynx are stupid strong for their size, and they're quick. They're fast. Felines are the most vicious animals on earth. I wouldn't want to go face to face with a lion. I wouldn't want to go face to face with a tiger. So I can see how being face to face with a cougar or a lynx would not be a good idea. Used to trap lynx. She has pics of herself playing with the skin. Nice. That's something I would love to have, but unfortunately, it's illegal to have here in New Brunswick. Well, you can't hunt them. You can trap them down south, but not up here. And I don't think there's enough lynx to even trap them personally. Armadillos are either blind, extra curious, or dumb. I click at them and whistle, and they follow us. Leprosy infection. What are those? I don't even know what that animal is. Armadillos? A sick deer? I don't think it'd be more of a sick deer. I think it'd be more a buck going after the doe if you get too close or if you spook them the deer are scared. I don't know. I didn't understand that quiz. Every deer I've come across last year encounter more than a dozen. They stop, look, pews, and walk or run off. They want to see what or who you are. And you know, it's funny because I go hunting with my brother, and he's like, "You can't make any sound and try not to smell." And he's being very, very careful about everything he does. And I go in the woods and I walk and I break branches and boom, and then I fall and I swear, and I never swear, by the way. No, it's just I'll be eating my snack. I'll be eating a bag of chips, walking in the woods. Suddenly, boom, an 8-pointers right there in front of me. It's not like he didn't hear me. It's not like he didn't smell me. He wanted to see me. And by wanting to see me, he is giving me a good 10 seconds to shoot. Now, lucky for him, I'm a bad shooter. And I use guns that are, they never have a good scope on them. But I will try again next year without using the scope. I will use the little aim ball at the end of the barrel. They have been more sharks attack in Canada than people attacked by someone with an AR-15. Yeah, makes sense. What types of sharks? You have that in the States. We don't have that in Canada. And yes, might as well not go there. I don't want to be flagged. You got attacked by a grouse? I remember when I was... I could have been more than 4 years old. We were going over at some people my dad knew. They had a little cabin, and all my cousins were there. And they found a grouse, and I don't know if the grouse had just one baby. They had the baby in those little basket that you had in front of your tiny little bikes back in the days. And I still had the two little wheels in the back of my bike. And they were driving around with that dead little bird in their basket. And the grouse, the mother grouse, was hanging around. And I'm still freaked out about what I saw that day. It was actually walking with the wing in front of her eyes like this, and the grouse was crying. Now, I don't remember exactly what kind of sound it made, but it was a definite cry, which is sad, but kind of cool at the same time. Hello, Angie. Happy birthday, Angie. 20, 28, 29? You're a grandma. So, you're a beautiful grandma. But Mike looks good for his age as well. I'm guessing you're probably... So if you had your kid when you were 15, you could be 32. I know you're a little bit older than me, but... Oh, it's only tomorrow. Why does it say it was today on Facebook? You're just playing with us. You told me that last year. Your birthday is the same time as my mom. My mom's birthday is tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me, by the way. I have to call her. My dad was attacked by a goose when he was very young, knocked him down and thumped him good with his wings. Yeah, those animals can be vicious. They don't look dangerous, but... Hello, Jane. Nice to have you here. Is like a hedgehog. No spikes, but leather armor, plating like from the Jurassic period. Just an odd animal. Can't see them smashed all over the highway here or... You've been getting messages all day, not sure why. I think your Facebook is saying your birthday's today. Let's see. Where can I see that? Is there a place I can actually see? Oh, why? It's the upcoming birthday. Maybe because when I clicked on upcoming birthday, your birthday was... You're right. It's showing... I'm pretty sure it showed up as today. When I look in my list of upcoming birthday, I have a few friends, but I have Angie Erchling showing up. And showing up as 36 years old US. Yeah, that's what it's showing. 26 with 20 years of experience. But I don't see the other account that you have. Maybe because I already wrote on your timeline. But I'm pretty sure that it was showing as your birthday was today. Yeah, well, hopefully you had a good day today and you'll have an even better day tomorrow. I usually just say that I'm like 30 years old US. It's always more in the States than what we have here. $1 Canadian, $1 US is worth a lot more than Canadian dollar. If it's 30 Celsius here, it's like 98 Fahrenheit down there. They got everything higher than us. About section on the profile. Yeah. Thank you, Marilyn. Well, you can take both days. You have two accounts, right? That would make sense. That would make sense. But I remember you telling me your birthday was on the 30th, same day as my mom. Makes sense. One other thing that I purchased, that's just because I had a gift card at Canadian Tire, and what I was looking for was not available. So I purchased this. Not only is it cool camo colors, it's warm, and look, I'm an angel. And it has a few different strength. And this is not only good for the winter, but if you're stuck in the woods, you can use to do some work in the dark. But I also like to have it's rechargeable. Really? I don't think this one is. No, it's two CR2032 batteries. They're not rechargeable. Not this one anyway. You can change the batteries. You can buy a few spare ones just to be sure. The thing is, I'm going to put this on in the winter when I go feed the animals outside. Because by the time I get home from work, it's already dark. Most of the time anyway. And it's going to give me an easy way to make it out. What laugh? What laugh? And no, it's not rechargeable. And no squash t-shirt. No, I was kind of cold today. We had snow for the first time this year. And whenever I get home from work, there's always someone in the shower. And we only have one bathroom. So I came in hoping to be able to go in the bathroom. There was someone there. I had to run outside and go behind the house. And froze a little bit. So when I get cold, it takes me a while to warm up again. So I didn't want to put a t-shirt on. I wanted to have a hoodie. Okay, ours can be popped out and recharged with a phone recharge plug. Nice. If I could have found one like that, it would have been nice. But it was on sale. I paid $5 for it. I should have even bought more than just one, really. But at least your cities are 10 times cleaner. We hit Montreal. It was amazing. I learned arrêt on a stop sign. Look at me speaking French. Yeah. Très bien. Très bien means very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, in New Brunswick, most of the things, well, they're supposed to be bilingual. Now, unfortunately, people see this opportunity to have more knowledge and more skills by learning two languages, and they complain that they don't have the same amount of rights or this and that. And it's true, French is really hard to learn, but if you try a little bit, I will not judge. If I talk to someone in New Brunswick, I'm not talking I understand a guy like Tracy or someone in Ontario will not learn French because it doesn't make sense for you to learn French. But here we have some people living around here that, they're supposed to work in a bilingual place. I get that it's a very hard language to learn. And we have one of the pharmacists, he arrived here saying, hey, I learned 5 languages in 2 years. I'm going to learn French in no time. Give me 6 months and I'll be able to have a conversation in French. Well, he's been here for 8 years and he can't have a conversation in French because French language has a lot of exceptions, a lot of different slangs within the province of New Brunswick. So many things mean so many different things. So many words, can have so many different meanings. But a guy like that, that comes and say merci, which means thank you, that's enough. That's enough for me. Sometimes Darren will say bon matin, or which means good morning, or he'll say merci beaucoup, or thank you very much. That's pretty cool. And Darren is probably well placed to know how hard it is to learn French, because he's married to a Quebecer woman. She obviously speaks French. And last time I spoke to him, he said he was starting to understand it a little bit. But, it's a hard language. It is hard. I'm trying to powder my dry comfrey. It is taking ages because it is so light in the blender. I heard there was a few different things you could do with comfrey, and I want to learn about that as well. My plant was so big this year, even by cutting up some leaves and putting that in my compost and around my garden, like around my plants and stuff. I just couldn't see the end of it. Is it sticking to the side with static? Not for me. Well, we learned it. Can't be that bad. Thing is, we learned when we were kids. Our brains are like sponges. My niece, she arrived in Balmoral, my village, and she couldn't speak a word French. They put her in a French immersion class. School starts in September, and by Christmas, she could speak fluently in French. And believe it or not, she's now in grade 6. She had a bad note on her English class because the teacher said that she couldn't speak English well enough. She's English. Like, if I was able to pass, speak to someone that speaks English, I mean, come on. But she learned to speak French when she was younger. So did we. English is a bad example. Here. I saw something about there was a guy doing a video about the pronunciation of the words. Like, if you put T-O-M-B, it's pronounced tomb. Change a T for a C, it's not coomb, it's calm. Things like that. I watched the video and I laughed because it's kind of true. Tracy's laughing at me because, he's teasing me because there's a lot of letters that we don't pronounce in French. Very, very often, the last letter is not pronounced at all. My girlfriend's name is Manon. M-A-N-O-N. English people will say Manon, which, she's kind of used to it by now because she has a very French name. But you don't pronounce the N at the end. It's Manon. Louis Soberville. He's the guy that did that, or they don't drop to the blade. Need a measured wooden stick, one that will not reach the blade if it has a small opening. Twist off. Yeah, but you're getting better, Tracy. You're starting to understand. Like, there's a few words that we can say that now you'll pick up and you'll know that we're talking about something specific. I'm pretty sure if I go to you and I say jardin, you know that a jardin is a garden. Bon matin. You know what that means because you've been hanging out with us for a couple of years now, which is kind of cool. One of the things that I bought with my gift card was, it smells good actually. It really has a wonderful smell. I don't think I'm going to burn these. It looks like a chocolate bar, but it's actually a fire starter mini log. I didn't open any yet. I'm going to use them soon. I'm going to try one soon. I'm taking a little tiny free class on survival. Not because I want to learn what to do, but I'm hoping that when you're learning something like that, or you're reading something like that, you tend to see a different way of maybe teaching things. I can go in the woods and can survive for a night, no problem. I can probably survive for a few days, without anything at all. But when you think about what you're doing, and you read stuff about people, teaching and stuff like that, you're like, okay, well, yeah, it's one thing to do a shelter, but this is how I can actually show what I'm doing. This is how I can show it to people, teach it and teach, but I have 4 of those. They were like $2. If I try it and it works well and it starts a fire quickly, it will be pretty cool, and it will be very useful in the events that I get lost in the woods. English is a cluster of many other. Well, yeah. When, when. It's like French for like yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone's talking. Yeah, 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 yeah. Looked like candy. Yeah, it did look like candy bars. Favorite French word is poutine. Who doesn't like poutine? Unless you don't know what it is, no reason for you not to like poutine. Stop. Poutine is same thing in English. Poutine. I only have a magic bullet, not the expensive type. Vitamix. I have a coffee grinder that I use for those herbs, and it works well for me. Something else that I bought. This is the name of the company. I didn't buy it. Sorry, I got it for Christmas. This was a gift from my beautiful girlfriend. Water filtration straw. This is something else that I'm going to read on a little bit more. They say that you can drink water from pretty much any stream. I don't know if I would trust it, because I'm pretty sure if there was parasites in the water, it could still go through this. But you can probably use a straw after you've been boiling the water, which you should always do. That's one of the things I'm going to teach if you drink water from a stream, a brook, a river. I've done that twice when I was a kid, drinking water where I wasn't supposed to. This one time from a little stream, my buddy was like, yeah, I do that all the time. I drink water from that stream all the time. And I did it, and I ended up having rashes all over my body for the next 2 weeks. So it was a virus or a little parasite of some sort that got in my body, and I had a reaction to it. We had a nice water, clean water, freshwater stream, water spring on my dad's land. We went there early in the spring to get some water and put that in bottles because we wanted to bring them home and have some fresh water. My cousin drank it, and she got sick, very, very sick, because it was actually a big parasite in the water. So you should always, always, always boil the water before you drink it if you're stuck in the woods. And one of the things you can do is either have a little grill to put on top of your fire, or use one of those things here. This is, if you don't know, it's a propane little burner. So you hook this up on top of your little bottle, propane bottle or tank, and you have a little thingy there to make sure it stays still and it doesn't fall off. and you can boil water on top of that. Or, I mean, if you have a fire, even better. Not better. I shouldn't say even better. If you ever get lost in the woods, chances are you won't have one of those with a propane tank with you. But it's still very light. Something that you can have in your backpack, and still be good to use it for, maybe if you're being very careful, maybe up to a month on one tank if you're being very careful. And if you get stuck in the woods, you have to think short term and long term, but you have to hope that someone's going to find you. Yeah, 10,000 BTU. True, it is very warm, right? Hello, Thomas. Nice to have you here. I was talking about you last night. I said that I'm hoping that if I can make it to the conference again this year, I'm really hoping to be able to squeeze in an hour or two and go fishing with you and get something for supper. We use a cheapo dollar generator grinder, $10. If it breaks, man, yeah. That's the best way to go. The one I have was given to me for free. Yeah, I really love the little straw. I'm hoping that it works well. I've been seeing those for a long time, and I was curious about them, so I guess I'm going to try it out. I don't suppose that it filtrates all the viruses and parasites and things like that, but best, cheapest fire starter I found is cotton ball drenched in Purell or Vaseline. I don't have that. I don't have Vaseline here on hand, Tracy. I don't judge, but just kidding. But yeah, I heard those were a great fire starter too, and there's a lot of things you can use in the wood as well. But I figured, it's $2. I'm gonna try it, and because I mean, as much as I'd like to be a very good scout, one of my flaw would be starting a fire, because we have paper, pallets, cardboards, a lighter, newspapers. We have a fireplace, and sometimes in the summer, I'm struggling to get the fire going. So if I stay stuck in the woods in the rain or in the snow, it might be a big struggle. As from our orchard, answer my question about ASCAP starting to leaf out. Oh yeah, so what's the answer? You can drink any water after a 3-minute boil. This does not count for high altitude boil. Well, yeah, I would definitely do for at least 3 minutes. I was going to say 5, just because I always prefer being safe than sorry. For that question, there's a question thing. Here's a little story. At the end of the job, we started finding, and there was a cougar putting them up on the trees. There's tracks everywhere. Makes the air on. Yeah. It probably felt like a scary movie, right? Like, you're walking in the woods and you see a bunch of deer carcasses in the trees. You're like, what is going on here? Yeah, it's probably very high. It could be something that, in case of emergency, like I said, when you're in the woods, it's one thing to try to preserve your stuff, but you also have to keep in mind that you have to be saved as soon as possible. So maybe one little propane tank like that could be enough to warm up my little shelter in case I wouldn't be able to start a fire. Maybe it would just last me for like 8 hours instead of a month. But 8 hours brings me to the next morning. Maybe that's enough to save my life. Because maybe sometimes you're lost because it's getting dark. As soon as the sun comes back up, you can find your way back home. You know, it depends on the situation, but I always carry my water filter system with me, but boiling works too. Still tastes funny though. 3 feel safe. Is it one similar to this? It's probably not from Pro Nature, but is it like the same system? It says that you can drink up to 550 milliliters per minute. Very compact. Activated carbon. 5 years lifespan, or 1,500 liters. Filters any sort of water. Product approved and certified by the FDA. Please discontinue use if you notice damage to your device. Do not attempt to replace any damaged parts. Please read instructions carefully before use. Once it hits a rolling boil, it is Fahrenheit or 100 Celsius. Ain't nothing going to survive that for 30 seconds. Yeah, true. I hold you one. We use fine wood shavings from Tractor Supply cup. A cup of that goes in flame with one strike. Yeah, and I have a flint, so I'm curious to see if those little fire starters would work well with flint. My son got a flint for Christmas. He wanted to have one for Christmas, and we tried. We had some very dry grass here, and we tried with that, but we couldn't get the fire going. But I'm hoping to be able to bring him in the woods and show him a few tricks. Showed it briefly on my last video. 500 grams of its weight. Also has 4 different types of filters. Yeah, I am so behind on everyone's videos. I'm sorry. I will catch up at some point, I promise. Sorry. Just like newspaper, burns too hot, too fast, and goes out. Yeah, but if you have newspaper and regular paper and a few cardboards, you should be able to start the paper. Get it burning enough to burn the cardboard, and then the cardboard should be enough to burn the dry wood, and from there you should be able to burn the pallets. But cork split in half lengthwise, soak in wax. Was working to try and join you, but internet is acting up in my office. Oh, well, that's okay, Darren. I forgive you. People love any survival shows. You go out in a tent, axe, cook, pot, and some. Yeah. One of the things that I got for Christmas also is this little thing here that has. So basically, those can be like the cover, the of the pot, but it can also be used as a small pot itself. Oh, there's one that got stuck in there. So there's 4 different sizes. They all go. This can be the cover of the big one if I want to cook something. And it's very compact, doesn't take any space, and you can also use these to make yourself a little handle. So you can use that. And yeah, maybe it's not something that would last forever. Maybe after 3, 4, 5 cookings, it might lose its integrity. But I love it, and I find it very cool to have, especially when you can put it in a little bag like this. It doesn't take any space, and it's, once again, very light. Did I have anything else to show here? I have one more thing. I have a few things coming in by mail. I have a cast iron skillet that I am hoping to be able to put in my backpack. It's a little bit on the heavy side, not necessarily recommended if you go on a long trip, but it's something you can cook with, and especially in a fire, and shouldn't damage your stuff. I'm a big fan of the grill water filter. I used it for a long kayak trip from Kingston to Ottawa. Nice. Their track record stinks. Really? Patrick, hey, nice to have you here. It's been a while. Mine's BKLA's filter system. Battery or pump it or drink from the tube. Nice. Activated carbon removes chemicals. Silver impregnates ceramic, stops and kills viral loads. Polycarbonate stops grit and chunky things. Nice. So it's probably a lot safer than I think then. About the size of a pop can, all packed away. Cool. Sorry, set. Yeah, it was pretty cool. What are you guys talking about in the chat there? Oh, that's why Patrick came. He was told in the chat to come. Coming in a prepper camping topic. Yeah, I'm changing my channel a little bit, Patrick. Instead of focusing more on the gardening aspect, I want to start focusing more about survival, being in the wilds, being in the nature. I know how to make a shelter, what to eat, what to cook, things like that. How to make a shelter, and how to make sure you put your chances on your side to be found, and things like that. Yeah, nice kit. And last but not least, something that I asked my girlfriend last minute, and she bought me one. It's not the most expensive one. Obviously, it's not a kit that's going to cost me $10,000 and save my life in case of emergency. This should always be on you if you're going in the woods. You never know. You might trip on a branch, split open your leg. I was, deer hunting, and I don't know if you can see. You probably can't. I don't think I can show you properly, but you can see here, right here. I cut myself with a knife while opening a moose. It was dark. I didn't have a light. The moose had been down for a while. There it was put down when it was still light out. But by the time we got there, it was my dad's moose. And by the time I got there to help him out, it was dark. We didn't have any flashlights, and I was trying to open the moose, and I slipped my finger, and it was bad. I still have the scar. That's about, without exaggerating, about maybe 1/3 of my finger, right. And I didn't have any first aid kit, so I had to remove my shirt. I had a second shirt underneath. I had a jacket on, thankfully. I had to shred it a little bit, take a little piece, and put some tape around it to make sure that it would stop the bleeding. And as soon as I got back to the trailer, I had to clean it. And, if I had a proper first aid kit, it would have been a lot easier and a lot quicker and a lot less painful. I did 2 or 3 videos on water filtration. It will do more next year. I have to give off readers basic and advanced info on how stuff works. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. People like that kind of stuff because, I'm not gonna judge anyone. I'm not gonna say on which side I stand, but there are people that believe there might be the end of the world coming. There's people that believe that it's not going to happen. No matter what you believe, being lost in the woods is always a possibility. maybe not necessarily being lost in the woods, but you can just. I went to the conference in Ontario last year. There's a part of the road that's about 75 kilometers. That's just trees. If I break down, or if someone breaks down in that area in the winter, there might not be anyone coming to help. So you have to be able to get out, maybe make a fire, survive. So it's always good to know. Like when Darren, you made a video about your bug out bag, it makes sense. It really made sense. You always have that bag in your truck, which is a good thing. And I started having more stuff in my Jeep as well when I go out now. I use Survivor filter or Aquatabs for water filtration. Nice. In that cook center, you should be about to fit a little propane bottle, a micro stove that fits on top of the bottle. Were you talking about that box or about that set here with the little pots? It would probably, I don't know if it would fit. Another thing I got for Christmas, a little bit different, but I love it because it brings so many good memories. When you cook on propane, make some toast. Those are the best toast you can get. And even on a fire, I ordered a little grill that I can make a fire and put the grill on top of the fire. I would also use one of those to cook bread or, things that need to be warmed up a little bit more than being cooked. Quite efficient when the wind is chill with those propane. Yeah. True. Nice. Hello, Annie. Thanks for dropping in. It's been a while since you've been here. I'm so excited to show all my stuff. All of it just finished coming in. We're set up now for a week. Winter camping only limit is propane. But I want to get a little wood stove, probably be lighter too. Yeah. Although it depends what you want to do, because if you intend on going on a lake fishing, there might not be trees around to burn to make a fire. You have to keep that in mind. Recovering holidays are rough. They are. We have a few of those in our job truck first kit and an EpiPen in the lunchbox. Yeah. It's something that I don't have, an EpiPen. I don't think I have anyone in my close family allergic to anything that serious. Although it doesn't mean that it can't happen at some point. But I think you need to have something here to be able to get one. Unless I'm mistaken, maybe it changed. But I think unless you have someone in your family with a real life-threatening allergy, they won't give you one or they won't sell you one. 20 micron will protect 5 motors. 5 micron will filter refined sediment. 1 micron needs a larger surface area to filter minerals and some metal. 0.03 membrane micron high PSI stops. Cool. I'm not sure I understand what everything in there means, but it seems to make sense. I know, swear by raw honey after using it on my shin after stabbing myself in the chin. I now swear by... Okay, cool. I'm thinking about getting Jason Medical Kit. One of the things that it's going to sound funny, but hard liquor is something you should have in survival kit. Not to get drunk in case you're lost and depressed, but I have a survival book here, and they say that first of all, if it's over a certain amount of alcohol, it can help with the pain. It can help clean a wound. It can also be used to what's it called? I forgot the term. Where you would put herbs and make a tincture. But they were also talking about if it was like a real apocalypse event. Just to say that alcohol is a good what's the term in French? We would say monnaie d'échange. It's a good trading item. It's a good bargaining chip, I guess. Plus, there's a lot of different reasons you could use it. You could use a few drops to start a fire if it's really high in alcohol and things like that. I know my fishing videos and that are my best ones over everything lately. Facebook has been doing well in reels, like 40, 60K. Nice. Is Facebook doing anything about the videos? I never put anything on Facebook. Oh, two different people coming in at the same time. Look at that.
Yo.
What's up?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes. And a third one.
Nice.
Hey, you arrived at the same time.
I'm in the kitchen now instead of my office because I can get internet in the kitchen, but my office is like, meh.
That sucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, Remy, I was saying about your kit. It looks like one of those GSI or Primus ones. And there's mine.
Okay.
But inside, I can keep one of those propane ones.
Okay, yeah, the tiny ones. Yeah, I've seen those little tanks too.
That's my little stove there that fits on top.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
But I find it cute. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
I have a similar for my camping gear. I just have no idea where it is.
So yeah, that's like so tiny, and I can fit it in my packs, my bags.
Nice.
I know I used to have a little, well, I don't know how you call that, like burner, the one that you
Yeah.
just showed. I used to have one like long time ago. I doubt it still works. I think I should like dust it a little bit and test it out.
So this one's cool too because you can put the windscreen on it.
Oh, cool.
So then when you put your little pot on top, it protects it.
Did you guys do a video about how long it takes to make a coffee with it?
I can do a coffee in about 2 minutes in this.
Awesome.
Like boil the water in about 2 minutes in this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
True, Annie. True.
Yeah. I used to have a safety kit. Every time I would get a new car, I would add new things. And being stuck in an accident, not having anything, even if it's just like a bit of dry food, a bit of water, a blanket, a phone, car charger, just in case, it could make a difference.
Oh, yeah. Here's another thing I'd suggest too is one of these right here.
What is that?
So it's basically like a tent, but it's like a survival tent.
That's small. It's like for what? 2 people? 1 person?
One person. You could probably squeeze 2 people in a pinch, but it's like a one person. So you can use it basically as a tent or wrap it around you.
Oh, it looks like those army tents.
It's got it's orange on the outside, so it's very visible, and then on the inside, it's got the reflective, so it'll retain your heat.
Oh, nice.
Cool. I received another present that was like a survival kit where it had like a flint, a knife, one of those blankets you're talking about that looks like aluminum,
Yeah.
a few different things like that. But unfortunately, there was one of the pieces that was broken. So I returned it and bought a few different things instead with the money. But I have another Amazon gift card coming in, and I still have about $20 left from what I got for Christmas. And I'm hoping to be able to buy another one. There was one that was a little bit more expensive. I think it was around $60, but it had a lot more things in it, and that's the one I want. So
Look
hopefully,
at you.
yeah.
You're gonna switch up the content to survival mode.
Yeah. Well, it's I'm still going to be talking about not growing, maybe not as much growing food, but harvesting food, foraging, and that kind of stuff. Hunting, fishing, and foraging was already on my channel. It's just that I'm going to focus a little bit more on that stuff now.
Well, there's a lot in the wild to harvest.
So there's the flint I use. It's a strike force, but so it's the magnesium striker and flint
to make fire.
Yeah. So what I found is you can buy the small ones, and they're almost like pencil thin. And I've broken them before trying to make a spark. So you want something pretty substantial. And then with this one too, in the back, it's got the storage. So you can put in the little wet fire tinders. So neat little.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's funny that they don't talk about this in schools.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So then, yeah, the wet fire tinders are those little white blocks there.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably something similar to what I have here.
That's for water, right?
It'll float on the water and still burn.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So that's the one I should have gotten instead.
To answer Dave Knight's question, by the way, hi, Dave. I think so, yeah. We should be taught like basic wilderness survival.
Oh, we should be taught lots of things.
I think like the year we graduate, because like we're somewhat aware, somewhat responsible, and it would be very useful. Some probably won't like it, but it would be, I would say, in situations where you never thought you would need it. You have those basic knowledge, even if it's 10 years after, it's going to come back, just like riding a bike.
And one of the things I was reading today is the first thing you need to do if you ever get lost, or if you ever get the feeling that you're not going to make it on time to wherever you're going and you're in the woods or whatever, stop. And stop, like they say that the S goes for stop. Stop whatever you're doing. The T is for think. Stop and think. And you should always have, how I talk to myself sometimes. I don't know about what happens. I make those little stories. Okay, if that person talks to me and says that, this is
who's going to answer if you don't talk to yourself?
Yeah, but
if someone answers back, I would question.
Well, that's okay. The problem is just don't ask yourself to repeat. Yourself to repeat the question, or then you might have an issue. But
that would be funny to watch.
Always have that scenario going in your mind. What would I do if? Because you have to be ready mentally. If you ever get lost, they say that a person has to manage the energy and the stress, because we all get stressed. We all have anxiety. Imagine being stuck in the woods in the middle of the night in the winter. It has to be stressful. Someone can't say they're lost and not have a little bit of fear in them. But you have to control that. Stop, think, observe. Look what's going on around you. Don't just go running in one direction. Look what's around you and
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say stupid comment, but I'm just going to refrain and just keep.
And the P goes for plan. Stop, think, observe, plan. Stop what you're doing. Take a deep breath. Look around, and make a plan. You might have to stay in the woods for one night. You might have to stay in the woods for 2 nights. You never know. Yeah, I talk to myself. Yeah, who doesn't? It's when you argue and disagree, you in trouble. Yep.
Just make sure no one's listening, because then they can think you're crazy.
Yeah. You can buy them $100 a pen. Not sure if they sell them to us because the job. Yeah. It's only epinephrine, really, the EpiPen. We've been living on solder for 2.5 years. So far, so good. Did you guys get any Christmas presents at all related to gardening or homesteading or?
Well, I don't know if you can call a soap mold homesteading. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Because I've restarted doing my homemade soaps.
Nice. Well, that's good.
My first batch is done. It's curing right now. And it should be ready, I think, January 9th, 10th, around there.
I got to do some this week too. Get some more made.
You do them with lard, right?
Yeah, the pig fat.
Yeah, I wanted to try one because I have like lard from like 2 years past, and I have like so much. And I found in one of the courses that I'm doing, one that you can do it with lard. So I might try that.
I have to learn how to do that.
It's not complicated.
No.
But it's exactly like pressure counting. You need
once you get the calculation done.
Like you need to follow the recipe. You don't like experiment. You follow the recipe religiously and you take your time. If you do that and you wear the safety and you take the precautions, it should go fine. If you go fast and you don't pay attention to the security, that's where you can get hurt or like mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
I like the quote. I talk to myself. Yeah, who does? Who doesn't?
That must have been scary, Thomas, getting lost in the woods, or you're going on your snowmobile, especially when you know that people get lost and die there. They freeze to death or whatever. It's not a good feeling. Knowing that you have the skills and the knowledge to survive is one thing, but actually living through it's a different feeling, I'm sure.
It's totally different.
One of the biggest concerns I've had now since going through hypothermia is being with anyone else that doesn't recognize any of the signs that someone might be going through for hypothermia, for shock, for anything like that. If you've got someone who brushes it off, there's going to be problems.
Yeah, especially when you're in a group. It's one thing to be in a group because you can you can see the positive and be like, well, we can all do a little job. One can build a shelter while the other one can try to find some food, and someone else can try to make a fire.
Someone's able to recognize it. If no one there recognizes it and brushes it off as, oh, you're being a baby, or walk it off or whatever, it's
well, I think most of the people actually panic.
Or they'd be like, well, no, we're not lost. Calm down. We're just going to wait it out. And find us. You'll be fine. But
being lost is one thing. Being lost in the cold is completely different. That's where like people start getting scared. And then scared means like so many possible ways. Like it could go down super smooth, even though it's cold. If there's a leader that can organize everyone. But if it's complete chaos, everyone could die.
We always travel with a 3-man tent under the back bench of our truck. Yep.
Yeah, under the back seat of my truck is nothing but safety gear and survival gear and emergency gear, and
Does it have a date of expiry date? Some of the stuff.
Yeah, there's I've got water packets and food packets, but it's 20. I think the water packets are 5-year, or the food I think is 25-year.
Well, if it's freeze dried, it's 25 years.
Yeah.
Even though it goes through the elements, so if it's in your car, that means it freezes, it thaws.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the little water packets I have they're able to freeze. So they're sealed in such a way that they're able to freeze and not break. So
Same thing with the food.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool. And it's weird to say, but if you go for a hike or anything, one of the good things you can bring is a jar of peanut butter. It's not something you would think of. You'd think about, bringing something with sugar or
Why? Oh,
peanut
because it's
butter has a lot of
protein.
proteins.
Okay, okay, okay. I was
And
trying to figure out where you were going with that.
yeah, but you can just take like one tiny spoon like this in the morning, and you'll be
It's full of protein.
you'll be good to go. It's not the
Protein,
best
sugar,
thing
and
out there.
salt. Protein, sugar, and salt.
Yeah.
It's not the ideal conditions of
fats.
food. Yeah, fats.
Yeah.
But it can somewhat keep you satisfied if you're hungry.
And to be honest, there's so many things in the wild that you can eat. Like the 2 little tiny classes I took made me realize how much food there is out there. I go in the woods now. I'm like, okay, I can eat this. I can eat that. I can eat this. I can eat that. Oh, look. Okay, this is toxic, but I can eat this one. And 50% of what you see in the woods, you can eat or.
Sorry, I just read Dave's comment.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to be afraid of, Dave. But we're there for you if you need to talk about it. If it happens. I was getting burned with the old one. Okay. It's different, right, Patrick? But you're already doing it. You're already living off grid. You and Tracy and doing your own thing. But I know, Darren, I don't know if you learned everything in the Army or no, because you didn't make the Army, right? You have a lot of skills in survival.
There were some in the reserves we learned, but a lot of it I knew beforehand anyway, doing different courses, scouts, that sort of thing. Picked up some more tips and techniques in the military, but then a lot of stuff I learned on my own.
Yeah.
The big thing is really just taking your equipment out and testing it. If you take your equipment out for the first time, you're going to find that, it doesn't work in this situation. Oh, it's not lighting the fire in this situation. That's
you kind of need to know how it works
in the manual. Yeah.
And one of the like you say that, and that's why I was talking about, it's one thing to get lost. You have to put your mind to it. You have to, I don't want to say practice, but it's pretty much practicing. You have to go. The guy was saying, just go behind your house if you have a few trees. Just get in the middle of those trees and look around and try to imagine if you were lost and those were the things you would see. How would you react? Sometimes just putting yourself in that position will make you realize that, hey, I don't know what I would do. Then maybe it's time to go and read about it or take a class or watch a YouTube video or talk to someone around you that knows about that stuff. Honestly, if I got lost in the woods, I probably would panic a little bit. I mean, I go deer hunting sometimes and I have my GPS and I have all my stuff. And sometimes I'm like, okay, well, it's getting dark and I'm a little bit too far from where I should be. And your heart is pumping. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it. Just don't want to walk in the dark because you never know what can happen when it's dark. You don't see where you're going. You can fall. You can hurt yourself. And you don't want to get I go hunting with my dad. I don't want him to be scared or, fear that I might not make it. So you want to make sure you make it. But that feeling you get at that point is not fun. So you have to be sure that, okay, if it ever happens, if I'm ever too far from the vehicle, I have my cell phone. Is there a reception where I'm going? Do I have a walkie-talkie in case I don't have a reception? Is there any way that someone knows where I am? You have to tell someone where you're going. Sometimes I just go on my dad's land and I'll tell my girlfriend, look, I'm just going on my dad's land at the end to see where the little stream is. Or I'm going on Sarah's property. I might go for a walk back there. If something happens, I don't make it up on time or, at all. They'll know where to look for me.
The biggest thing, I think you mentioned it before, is calming down in any of those situations is just being able to stop and just take a breath. Just calm yourself down.
Because even if you panic, it's not going to help. And it's easy to say, like, I get it. It's easier said than done. but it's the first thing you have to put your mind to. You have to calm down. Okay, look, I know what to do. I'm comfortable doing what I have to do. Find a place to make a shelter. Find somewhere where you can be safe and warm. Make a fire. And then in the morning, if you're still there and you don't think you can make it back to camp, or you don't think someone's going to find you, try to save your energy. But
make a bigger fire.
yeah, make a bigger fire and eat your peanut butter. Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like survival in the woods is not necessarily taking you out of that road they want you to take.
Well, we should learn basics.
Yeah, we should. They should teach it.
Like making fire in different locations, different circumstances. Like if there's wind, what you need to do. If it's like a drought and it hasn't rained in a couple of weeks, how should you start a fire? Like there's precautions, and how do you put out a fire without having consequences, without creating like even worse, bigger forest fires, like just basic stuff. Cooking food on an open fire, orienting yourself, because sometimes, I have my phone, it's gonna work, it's gonna, sometimes there are things that will not make your GPS work. Your phone could drop because you fell down, and your phone can break. How do you
just the cold can drain your battery?
Like you can be in a magnetic field, and then your thing doesn't work. So just like
Now, even where I am, I go out in the backwoods out here, and I've lost signal.
Yeah. So yes, there are some cell phones and some watches, like the Garmin watch that has like basic survival, but like they're like super expensive. So like how to orient yourself, like not hunt. I'm not talking about like they should teach that. They're just basic things if you're in a emergency situation, and to learn to control your emotions. I think our teenagers would like desperately need to learn that, control their emotions in a like in a safety situation, and it would actually reflect good things for their lives.
One movie that I remember when I was a kid is called Far From Home. Probably seen it. Story about this guy that finds a dog, and he's all about survival. His dad teaches him everything, and then he goes on a boat trip with his dad, and there's a storm that hits, and he ends up on shore with a smaller tiny canoe or whatever, and he has to survive there. And he's talking about the stuff he's learning, and like you can see that he's calm, but of course he has a dog with him. It helps, I think. You have someone to talk to, it can calm you down.
A food source.
A food source.
Yeah, maybe not that much, but you can offer some protection. If there's a bear coming or if there's a coyote coming, you'll hear it and smell it, and you'll be able to warn you.
It depends of the dog. If you have a Chihuahua,
yeah, well, you don't go in the woods with a Chihuahua if something happens. He had, I think it was like not a golden retriever, but
musky bait.
It was
Husky's intelligent.
Labrador kind of dog.
Huh?
Chihuahua is musky bait.
Oh, musky bait. I heard husky. Well, labs are very intelligent too.
Yeah.
Golden retrievers, although they don't get their credit, they're very, very sensible and very intelligent.
But Basset Hound isn't.
Yeah, we've seen that when we went over, Darren. But Far From Home is a movie from I think it's 1996. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, it's a pretty good movie. And there's nothing in there that you can't show your kids. It's a nice family movie, but it's also very interesting because the kid gets lost and he has to survive with what's around him. Like he goes face to face with a cougar and he hurts himself. He has to make a way to be able to still walk and things like that. It's pretty cool. Moves. 2,000 per month without being monetized. That's insane. I'm gonna have to start getting more subs. I'm just asking people to watch my stuff. That's all I'm asking.
I just saw a comment from Life in the Valley about flipping a canoe in ice, and it's not fun. When I got my hypothermia, I fell in a beaver pond in April when we were on a military exercise, and that's how I got it. Is going basically in an ice pond and not getting help for a while. But
Of this year, April of this year.
oh no, this was like 2004,
Okay, so
2005.
a couple of moons ago.
Yeah. But when I started kayaking and all that, anytime the water was cold, wetsuit or dry suit. And I see people out there on the water canoeing, kayaking, and they're like, no safety equipment whatsoever. They're just like in a winter jacket, down filled or something like that. And I'm like, no, you're just asking for trouble.
They think it's not going to happen to them.
Well, that's it. We never think it's going to happen
close to shore or something like that. Where, I can swim to shore. It's like possibly if you don't drown first, sucking in water because you're panicking going into the cold water.
Yeah.
I'm actually terrified of the ice. People ask me to go ice fishing, and I keep saying no. It's like one of my biggest fears. Even if the ice is like 20 feet thick, I will paralyze on the ice. I'm terrified. Just the idea of falling under the ice just terrifies me.
Usually the way that I see it is if a truck can go in the ice, I'm probably safe.
I saw someone, I was going to my parents on December 25th. It was 2 degrees Celsius. I saw someone ice fishing in the bay. So the ice was like maybe like 2-3 inches, like tops 5 inches thick. He had a dog himself and he had gear with him. And then I would say like maybe 500 yards further, the ice was melted. There was not even like a thin layer of ice. It was like water running and like completely stupidness. And he was on ice. And if I was not experienced, I would just see him. Oh, he's on the ice. I could go. But then, fall under the ice. But true, if many trucks are on the ice, maybe one idiot will go on the ice, but I doubt like 20 idiots would go with their trucks.
Never underestimate the stupidity of large crowds.
True. You're absolutely right. I knew you had.
Looks like we're going to ask a few questions to David when we see him at the conference.
No shame in a lurk, get over it and enjoy some fishing. Everyone else. I might one day enjoy ice fishing. I probably will have to face that fear. So maybe one day. I did face my fear of pressure canning. So
see,
and I was completely terrified of that. So could be my next bucket list of fear to face.
And like I said, if you see a truck on the ice, probably good to go. Especially if they're crossing over, like from New Brunswick side to the Quebec side.
Still
you're fishing in like a small bay or whatever.
Yeah.
You know that water's calmer there and freezes more.
Or I can check the depth of the water. If it's under 2 feet, I can go.
I've heard stories in New Brunswick where a guy was smell fishing, and suddenly someone just came from under the water in his hole. He fell through the ice, and you could see he was being pushed by the current, and he could see a light, so he tried to make it there, and he got out that way. He got lucky, but can you imagine? You're fishing, and someone comes out from under the water?
Terrifying. Oh. Traumatizing. That's for sure.
Good question. Darren, you want to take that one? You go hunting once in a while.
Do you carry an emergency shelter and fire starting kit or water?
Depends on the hunting. When I would go for moose, yeah, definitely, because we'd be going out into areas I didn't know. When I went bear hunting or deer hunting or turkey, no, because usually I was within a short distance of the house or a short distance of the truck. I knew the area, the conditions that extreme, something that, you know, there was no danger of getting lost, getting stuck in a snowstorm, falling through water, anything like that. So
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. I always have a lighter on me just because I know that if something happens, I slip in the water or anything like that, I can warm up. Um, but not necessarily. I don't have like a first aid kit or anything like that. I should. I will probably start bringing mine with me now. Um, but like I said, I usually just go hunting in places I know. And where we're going for deer hunting, it's you have the paved road on one side, paved road on the other side, and you only have to walk like maybe 15 minutes in a straight line. You'll get to the paved road. If you go behind, there's a river. You can't cross a river. You could fall in it, but I mean, you have to be dumb enough to get close to it. And if you go on the other side, there's an ATV trail going from paved road on one side to the other one. So you can't really get lost. You stay in the middle of that and you're fine. And when we go moose hunting, we stay in the truck most of the time and we go in places we know. My dad always has a bunch of stuff in the truck in case he gets stuck. So
that said, I have carried first aid kit with me, and not like a scratch and boo-boo, but like an actual stop the bleed kit. So lots of gauze and a tourniquet, because if you're hunting with crossbow with the broadheads, you know, maybe I'm stupid and slip on something and I stick myself with the broadhead. I'm going to need something bigger than a Band-Aid to patch myself up. So I've carried that before just in case.
The fact that you think of that, is it because something happened similar? Or because you have a vivid imagination?
it happened to a friend, right?
No, it's just one of those things. I mean, you're carrying a sharp pointy object, right?
True. But don't you have protectors on those?
Yeah, it sits in a quiver on the crossbow. Or if it's with the compound, it's in a quiver. But what happens if you get distracted? You drop the arrow, you fall out of your tree stand, you move around in your blind, you slip on some ice. You know, dumber things have happened to people. So
you do have a vivid imagination.
I stabbed myself in the shin gutting the cow. So
no, I saw it. I saw the picture.
It's healing up.
Did you go to the hospital?
No.
Oh shoot! All that? Okay. You have to remove the comment.
Yeah.
Ouch. And you have another one next to it.
No, that was it.
That was it?
Well, that's enough.
Yeah, that was like, I'd say a good 1.5 inches deep.
Oh shoot.
So, yeah, I just washed it out, and then I put our raw honey on it. I was going to go to the hospital, but I wasn't listening to where she was. I thought she was in town here, but she was down in Quebec. So she was like an hour away versus like 10 minutes away. So when I called her to take me to the hospital, she was like, yeah, I'll be there in a bit. And, you know, I'm waiting, nothing. And then I was like, okay. So at first when I did it, there's tons of blood. Like the bottom of my pant was soaked with blood. My sock was turned from white to red. And you almost start getting nauseous. And so my main concern was not the blood loss at all, but going into shock, because that's basically the worst thing that can happen to you. So after I calmed down, then I was like, okay, you know, I'm not bad. I'll get this washed out, put some honey on it, throw a Band-Aid on it, and then go back to butchering. So
you continued butchering?
Yeah, I had to get the cow finished. No one else is going to do it.
It had to get done.
Yeah.
Thomas, you're making me second guess myself if I'm going to go fishing with you or not with your stories. Yeah. Your husband still has a channel about that kind of stuff, right?
Prior to Buttercup and Firm, my channel was camp. Oh, nice.
Powdered yellow is awesome in calories, just mixed with water and it packs well. True.
Oh, that's an idea, yeah.
Magdalene, you talked about oil.
Yeah. Coconut oil.
Yeah.
Coconut oil is high fat. I don't know if it's high calories though, but you can somewhat, if you can chug it down. Night, Tracy.
Take care, Tracy.
I think coconut oil would be, or olive oil maybe, because coconut oil you would have to melt it. Olive oil, you can drink it. Okay, that's it. Olive oil is the best calories. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. And you can cook pretty much anything in it.
Almost, yeah.
I mean, you can take a plant and fry it with the oil. And green beer. One of the times I was most scared, probably more of my dad for losing his ATV, but I dropped in the lake. But my dad seen me go in and ran to me and got me. I was 12 kilometers out. Wow. Okay, remind me not to go ice fishing with you.
Well, he says he was 12, so he probably lived it all, and now he's learned from it.
Hopefully. Practice and set up in your backyard is the smartest thing most people avoid. Yeah. I intend to try all of the stuff. Well, I'm not really excited about trying the first aid kit, but all the rest of the stuff, I'm hoping to be able to try.
On that, in Canada, I think in the US too, there's a course called Stop the Bleed. I highly recommend that for everybody to take.
Is that from the Red Cross?
I don't think it's a Red Cross. No, I think it's like its own little thing. But
what's it called?
Stop the Bleed.
Stop the Bleed.
I highly recommend taking that course. And I mean anyone, not just if you're going hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, but anyone. It, it's something where, people cutting bread have sliced a finger and that sort of stuff. So.
We found out Canada is very flammable. Yep.
Yeah, very, very.
Fires here.
I don't know if it's accurate. There's people that said they did fires up in Alaska, and the fire propagates through the soil because of the roots, and that's how we got the wildfires here because of British Columbia. Could that be accurate, or that's like Facebook all like
not that far
fake
not
news?
That far.
Okay, it's probably that. Like I was. It could make sense that a forest fire could be started like that. But like all the way up in Alaska?
It could spread underground from one place and spread a little bit, but I mean,
you're talking.
It was probably Facebook news, so
feet, yards, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kilometers of forest that got like ravaged this year.
Yeah.
And I think like we're going through the echoes of like the changes, like cause it's raining here. I don't know for you guys if you have snow. It's been raining for like fait combien de jours Kimoy? It's been 7 days that it's raining here. Like gloomy, doomy, and it's like 2 degrees Celsius during the day, and it freezes at night.
We have snow since lunch today.
Lucky. I hate shoveling snow. Like I despise shoveling snow, but at the moment I think I would go for like 30 centimeters of snow like right now.
Oh, not me.
Because everything is mud. It feels like spring all over again.
Yeah, we don't have mud here. It's almost like summer.
Almost.
We just don't have the same warmth. We don't have the same sun. But the soil it was dry until today, and we could do anything we wanted to do. Same thing as we would do in the summer.
On Christmas Day, I walked Luna, and I was like in my t-shirt.
It's crazy, right?
That's not normal. Like I understand people hate the cold, hate the snow, but it's not normal to like on December 25th to walk outside in a t-shirt.
It's funny
Or
because
long sleeve.
Bridget was just telling me, babe, when was it? The
The huge
warmest-
snowstorm?
No, the warmest Christmas they had
I think
in
it was
this
9.
area was like 60, 62, 64. It was plus 10.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So it's like,
Deja vu all over again. Just like 40, no, 60 what? 64?
1964, 62, something like that.
So, yeah, okay, so 60 something years ago.
And it was plus 10, and we only got to, I'd say, plus 4.
Here, I think the highest was plus 9 or plus 7, something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty warm here too this year. Like I said, I've seen some warm Christmas where we had no snow, but usually we had to shovel before. We'd have to shovel because it'd be a storm or two, and then the snow would melt. This year, nothing. I didn't have to shovel once. And it's hard on the animals because we've had a few cold days. The water's freezing. You can't really give them water, but you can't give them snow because there's no snow. And I'm at work. I can't really go out and give water to the animals like 3 times a day. So I give them water.
Speaking of animals, well, since it's not freezing during the day, I've put my rabbits in my high tunnel. So the front door is a window and the back door is a window. So I have air coming from the back and the front
Right
like for a good circulation. My water doesn't freeze during the day.
We had a friend that he's got chickens and rabbits in a high tunnel. So I think he's 20, 25 feet, something like that. And he keeps his rabbits and chickens in there all year long, puts in like a straw bale and hay bale and wood shavings and all that, and works out well.
If I didn't have ducks, I would definitely do chicken and my rabbits in the tunnel. And then in the spring, I would like skip like the root vegetables because like it's still hot manure. But since I like the first winter I had ducks, I put them in the tunnel. They created so much chaos. Like we had like a bin with a warm element to keep the water from freezing. And I don't know if you own ducks, like they shove their heads in the water and then like they go like this and then there's water that goes everywhere. And they would create like puddles, like so in the mud, they would create holes within the mud and then like sprinkle water like even further. It was terrible. So they're like teenagers, the ducks during the winter. So I might convert to the tunnel for my chickens next year, chickens and rabbits. But my ducks, I will definitely like keep them apart because like they create like these humongous, just like disgusting things. I have 2 less this winter. So it might be better. I'm down at 5 instead of 7.
You got to basically change their water every day. They're so brutal.
Almost 2-3 times a day during the winter because like they when they create that mud hole, there's mud that gets onto their nose, and they don't like that because there's like 2 holes on top of their nose beaks, and when the mud freezes on their beaks, they just like keep dunking in water and like exploding water all over the place. It's lovely. So if you want ducks, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Never forget.
I'll stick to shooting them.
Huh? I'm sorry?
I'll stick to shooting them, hunting them.
Yeah. What did you say, Remy?
I said it's pretty much the same thing with every farm animals. There's always some positive, bad thing. And
yeah, I don't, if let's just say that I have to make a choice and remove an animal, I love the ducks. They're very affectionate. There's one particular that's like almost a pet. They're very intelligent, a little bit more intelligent than chickens, but they are the ones that create the most chaos, like in the coop. They are loud. They don't fight like the chickens do. Like there's no hierarchy and like pecking and blood and all of that. So yes, that's the downsides of chickens. But water, they create an epic mess. Like I have to figure out how to tame them so that there's not water all over the place.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So it's my husband and I came up with this plan. We're trying to design it so that they put their heads inside a bin, and they can't go like this, so they can like only put their heads inside and like come back out and not be able to create a mess. But then we need to figure out how to not let that water freeze. So we're there. So we're halfway there. Oh, you're taking notes.
I'm taking notes. I've seen some good ideas in the chat.
What did we miss?
Wickershire Project Off Grid saying that this one here.
My dad teaches us how to tie fishing knots. I was age 6 or 7. Set the motion for survival and respect for the wild. We collected wood for the fire. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
The part that I want to take notes is going fishing. Whatever you catch, you cook it right there.
Yeah.
I've done that before, but never on film, and it's something that
my dad taught me. We used to have a boat. I learned a couple of knots. I forgot because I was like 5 or 6. He showed me a couple of knots, fishing tips. I was the one tying the knots for my fishing rod and all of that. I sadly forgot everything.
I'll come back.
I was 5 or 6 years old. That's like 30-ish years ago. So if they show me, it could probably come back. But it was fun. Like he did it a couple of times, and I was on my own, and I was fishing on my own. I didn't cook it because it was just for the fun of it.
That's one really handy skill to have, is knowing how to tie knots.
Yeah.
Different styles and knots. Like I'm okay for fishing, but usually when I'm tying up like a tarp in a tree or tents or stuff onto the trailer or the truck, I go by that old, if you don't know how to tie a knot, tie lots.
Fred knows a couple. Sometimes I watch him. It's like, where does that come from? So, I learned that from this and that and this. I'm like, really? Like I don't remember. Yeah, it is handy. When I watch him, like, and I'm like, how is that gonna not cut? He's like, watch it. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna budge. It's like a super knot. I'm like, okay, can you teach me? And then he tries to teach me, and I'm like, it doesn't work. I guess it's practice. I need to practice.
Yeah. And sometimes you just, like I keep saying, focus on the one, learn and master the one, and then get another one. And if you don't practice, it's hard to do. Like I have the one knot that I do when I go fishing. I always use the same one, and it's, you just simply put your line in the hole, and you twist it. So you'll have your line twisted. You take like the small end, you bring it back like between the hook and like the first little tiny hole you get when you twist the line. You get it in there, and then you just hold it a little bit, and you take the big line and just put it straight. So it will make all the twisted part tied up against the line, and it stays. And then if you want to remove it, you just put your fingers on it and it slides off.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Lynn's comment. The way that we would do it, Marilyn, we would make it safe for the chickens because they're on the same, they would be in the same, same pen, because they will peck at the plastic. You're right.
What's your job again, Thomas? You've said it before, but I don't remember. Drunken Chef Barbecue, nice to have you here. Thank you so much. If I have a mod in the chat that wants to share Annie's and Darren's channel, that'd be great.
Lynn, I always have a chicken that goes broody, and I always give her 2 duck eggs, and I always have usually at least 1 or 2 that pops up. So if they see, oh no, it's true. It's later on. She goes broody in June, July, so it would be too late. You have a health awareness of things. No shame. I'm not ashamed of being scared of the ice, because if I don't say anything and I'm forced to go on ice,
it's not fun.
It's not fun. And I'd rather be completely transparent of that fear, and I set my boundaries, but I know I have to face it one day or the other. Maybe not here in Montreal, maybe where it is colder, where the ice definitely freezes. I don't even know if we will be able to ice fish this year if it doesn't freeze more. Like if we have,
couldn't go last year. We had snow, but it didn't get cold enough.
We had like I think 1 month last year, but usually it starts in November.
Yeah, well, mid December here until at least mid March.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. I saw someone sharing it. I don't know who.
Marilyn.
Thanks, Marilyn.
And
oh, hey, Creek Craft Farm is here.
Yeah, Chris and Steph.
Hi.
Too cold, but you can have a nice shanty and have a little fire going in there and it stays warm.
Yeah, like that luxury camping. There's probably luxury ice fishing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bay of Quinty's nice for ice fishing too. Except I don't think. Well, I think my daughter got out last year a bunch of times, but I don't think she's gotten out this year at all yet.
Well, that was why I was terrified to pressure can. But I had someone that walked me through every single procedure. And same thing with the soak. You need to take your time, do it slowly. If it takes you 4 hours instead of 3, do it in 4 hours. And then the time after that, it's going to be like maybe 3 hours and a half. And then the time after that, it's going to be 3 hours. And you're going to go over your fear. If you don't follow the safety procedures, that's when stupid accidents happens.
Yeah.
Has trouble. Don't remember what that was. Has trouble every year. To freeze, maybe? No,
about maybe people getting through the ice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's because I think you're like half an hour behind.
Yeah, that's fine. I want there and there in the same time, so it's I just don't want people to feel left out. That's why I'm sharing all the comments. I have a little question for you since we're 2 days before the last day of the year.
Oh, question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what would be? We're gonna change subject a little bit. Go back on the year. What will be your biggest accomplishment and your biggest failure of 2023 on Homestead?
Biggest accomplishment and biggest failure. Well, I know my biggest accomplishment, but it's also a failure. It's kind of both. Unless Darren wants to go first.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think my biggest accomplishment is accepting I cannot do it all. And find solutions so that I can preserve a lot of food. And it was a hard one, accepting that I'm a one-person homesteader and I cannot work 40 hours on a 24-hour day. So I kind of failed because like my standards were like super high. But my biggest failure, my tomatoes. Like I'm a tomato lady. Like I love all the tomatoes. I lost them. I was supposed to have 1,000 pounds of tomatoes, but I had only, I think it was 340 pounds because I had early blight, mid-season blight, late blight, and then they died. Part of it was neglect. I would say most of it was neglect and being overwhelmed because I had too much on my plate and I couldn't handle it.
Cool. You ready, Darren? Or
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, thinking about it, and there's a bunch of failures, but I think the biggest failure for us, I think this year was not getting enough veggies stocked away. Like we had 3 months of straight rain.
Yeah, we did have a lot of rain this summer.
We had nothing grow. So the veggies did horrible for us. We hardly got anything put away at all. Like the carrots we got put away were the deer carrots we bought from the store. So that was horrible this year. Biggest accomplishment, I think, for us was getting all our meat put away because Bridget had to take some early holidays for some stuff. So normally it's both of us butchering and harvesting the pigs and the cow. And for the most of it, it was just me doing it. And she was helping out whenever she could.
So you did chickens, 2 porks, and 1 beef.
So 50 chickens, 2 pigs, 1 cow. And Bridget she usually does all the chickens herself. I help out now and then, but she's so quick and efficient at it. It's crazy amazing. So she'll do like 6 chickens in an hour. And
wow.
So I'll pack them in that and just let her take care of the stuff. But then the pigs and the cow, we usually do it together, all the butchering and processing and that kind of stuff. But she was just working so much, didn't have the vacation time for it. So it was me doing a lot of it and good. So
I think if we do chickens next year, I'm going to rent the plucker that Remy has. Because we have the basic, I call it the redneck one, where it turns around and you eat so much feathers when you do it. So I was
does it without the plucker. So she'll do basically take a few feathers off the breast, open it up.
Yeah, I remember.
And then take the legs and the wings.
You don't keep the bones.
We do for some. Like we'll do it for some, but a lot of the time we want the stuff broken down anyway. So if we do like butter chicken, we want the breasts. If we're doing club sandwiches and all that, we'll pressure cook the legs and stuff beforehand and then so we've never cooked a full chicken. It just doesn't.
We started doing half. Like this year we did I think a little over half. We removed all the pieces of the chicken and then we have full. But we need to pluck them to be able to freeze them whole. And I keep all the bones. And now that I have Luna, next year I have to figure out how to harvest, is it the heart or the liver for the dogs? I think it's both. It's the heart and the liver I think you can give to your dogs and do like jerky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the plucking is like definitely what we find the hardest. But that machine that Remy has, you can put 3-4 chickens in there. It just turns around and just magically removes everything. And instead of taking us like the entire day to do 25 chickens, maybe we could do like cut the time at least 1/3. It would be nice. Because like we are so tired because you have to set up because we don't have a butchering installation. Like we have to set up. We have neighbors, so we try to somewhat hide what we're doing because like we don't want to look like murderers. Because there is blood. So like we somewhat set up so that we are hidden from everyone. And then just that takes like 2 to 3 hours. Like set up, wash everything, sanitize everything, calibrate the plucker because since it's so old, we need to calibrate it. It goes too fast, too slow. And then once we've done everything, it takes us like 6 to 7 hours to do.
Yeah, we're good on that side, on that end, because I have friends that they have all the cones set up and we'll do like my chickens one weekend and theirs the other weekend or vice versa. And, you know, whatever it takes for them to bring all the stuff out and back in, they don't have to do it because they know we're doing the next chickens after. And
it's lovely to have it set up.
Yeah. And like he comes here, he grabs my plucker, brings it at his place, and he has it placed in the garage. He stores it pretty well and he cleans it up, and he does a better job with it than I do myself. We had 39 chickens this year, just for myself, all the mines, and took us maybe 3 hours.
I would love to have a third person with us. It would be so much easier.
Yeah, you have someone just putting the chicken in the hot water in the plucker on the table. And then you have someone on the table cutting it. And
because we do a 24-hour chill period. And after that, that's when we take the carcasses and then we do breasts, thighs, chicken wings, and all of that. And then we put it back in the fridge. And if we are done that day, we freeze everything. If not, like, we continue the next day. But like it's an ongoing process of at least 48 hours. And like I have to be very careful because I have little hands. I don't have a fridge in the coop because like our installation is like right next to the coop so that the animals don't have far to go. So we pick up the chicken, close the door, go in our station, harvest the chicken, go back. So at least the chicken doesn't have to suffer that much. Like, doesn't have to go through transport. But definitely, if we would have a plucker, it would make our lives so much easier. No problems and a lot of weird failures. We still got huge. It's true. I think we're hard on ourselves because you did get food on your shelf, Darren. Not as what you were expecting.
Not what we were expecting or really needed. So the years eat, yes. The veggies, no.
You guys are mostly you two, and occasionally you have Bridget's sons, right?
Yeah. So we're week on, week off.
Okay, so 2 weeks in the month, you have teenagers with you. Okay.
Put them to work.
Yeah. Family of 3.5 for the year.
I'm sorry?
A family of 3.5 for the year.
Okay. I have one that's gonna be
or 5 if you really consider the way they eat.
That's what I was gonna say. They play hockey, so they must eat a lot. So my son Philip, which is gonna be 10 in April, he eats. God, he eats. Like, I sit down for my burger, and like I normally eat 1 or 1.5 with like a side dish and stuff like that. He finishes his second one, and he looks at my second for his third. So I kind of feel bad eating my second burger because he's like looking at it like salivating. I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm like, look at you. You're 10 years old. You're this big. Where do you fit all of that?
Bridget was laughing the other day because I think it was the boys had supper here, ate a bunch, then had a snack, and then she took them over to her ex's. And she said they went right in the house and started going through the cupboard looking for more food. It's like unreal.
Yeah, well, that's what kids do. We'll have a nice supper here. They'll eat a snack and a dessert. They'll probably grab something before we leave, and we go to the in-laws, and the first thing they do when they get in, Mama, can I get something to eat?
Do you remember when we said diapers were expensive?
Yep.
Do you remember, like, everyone keeps saying that kids' diapers and formula, well, I didn't buy formula, but like they say diapers and formulas are like super expensive. I don't think they understood or grasped the concept of like,
I couldn't believe that picture Angie posted of her shopping cart the other day and how much it cost.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't buy meat at the grocery store. Well, occasionally, but like mainly, like 99% of the time, I don't buy meat. And I went from prior to 65 to 120 a week, Canadian, depending of when I needed. And I am now over 200 a week.
Oh.
And I don't buy pizza prepackaged food. I don't buy like Villaggio soups or stuff like that. Like I buy bulk whole foods and milk. I don't have a cow, so I buy milk, cream cheese, yogurt for school, and the snacks of the kids. And the snacks, I'm very, very picky because there's some ingredients that my sons cannot eat. And like I was at the cashier the other day, and she told me, I'm like, you must be joking. Like it must be a mistake. I think it was 198, and like I had 5 bags, about the same thing, maybe a little bit less because I think she was like close to 400. The basket she was. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm just happy that I was able to grow that much food this year because like you go to the grocery store, you buy 2-3 things, and you come out of there and it's like $40.
50
Like,
bucks. Yeah.
yeah, I was there to buy butter. I buy butter and a bag of chips, $15. Like, what the hell?
Butter, I refuse to buy it if it's $6. Like, I'm going to run out of butter before I buy something that's $7.
We used to go in every so often, and if it's just us, we'd love getting like a baguette, a few different types of good cheese and that kind of stuff. And now it's like you do that, and you're at $60 just for the baguette and cheese. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
We found a liquidation center nearby that buys in bulk Costco items in like Super C's and Metro, and they buy in bulk close to expiry cheese. And Fred went this week, and they were frozen 1 week prior to being bad, but it's cheese, so it doesn't really go bad. It's like a high-end cheese. They were $1 each, but they're frozen, so that means you have to thaw them out, and because they're frozen, you can't eat the la croûte, comment tu dis ça en anglais? The crust. You can't eat the crust because the crust is kind of mushy, but it was $1. So we love cheese, so when we see it at $1, we go and we buy 10. Last time there was another deal. It was 1 month expiry date in 1 month. I bought 5. They were $2 each. So if you can find a Costco, I don't know how you call that, liquidation center nearby, it would be fun if you love cheese. Like, we go there for cheese and frozen yogurt. Like, the yogurt is frozen on the week prior of expiration date, so that you thaw it out and you eat it the same day. So at least I get it like 50 to 75% off. But you never know when you go to the store, like, if they're going to have it in stock or not. But groceries are a nightmare.
Yep. I didn't answer a question I asked you guys, but my biggest accomplishment would be that I grew
2,600 pounds of food?
well over 2,500 pounds of food if I count what I hunted and all that stuff. Because when the competition was over, I was at 24, 27 or something like that. And I got a deer after and some more eggs and some more rabbit and all that kind of stuff. Also, I was able to learn a lot about foraging, a lot more. My biggest failure would be that I was just not able to grow radishes for some reason, and the weed was over.
That is your failure?
Well, I can't really complain because I ended up with over like 300 pounds of squash and zucchinis. I was able to harvest some sugar pumpkins. My corn didn't do too well, but I don't consider it a failure because it was probably a raccoon that ate it all.
So someone had fun with it.
Yeah, like, it's not something I could have changed because it was at the community garden and there was wild animals running there. So nothing that I could have done differently. The weeds took over. That's probably another failure. But
The what took over?
the weeds.
Oh, weeds. Yeah.
Yeah.
That part is like the dark side of gardening. We don't really show that. The weeds.
Yeah. Renting a plucker is a very good idea. It saves so much time. You're going to pay around maybe $50, $75 for
I think it's here $75 for one day.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or for the weekend? I don't remember.
But if it's a good one, it's worth it.
It's exactly like yours. The one that looks like a une sécheuse, une laveuse. It's like you just run. Yeah.
Big, yeah.
It's really big.
Gather Together Homestead, long time no see. Last time you came in, I was ending Glenn and Jessica, right? It's been a long time. Nice to have you here. A lot of people were struggling with the weather this year. Seems to have impact on a lot of people.
Well, it was weird. It was wet and then dry, then wet and then dry. So it was like some probably crops enjoyed it, but too much water and then too much drought. Even the tomatoes that I harvested here tasted way different than the ones I had last year. They were not as sweet. I think they were gorged with with water.
A lot of the farms around here that grow the strawberries were saying the same thing, is that the strawberries are just bleh, because
Gorge with water? Oh.
Yeah.
It's a kind of season that we learn from, I guess. I know that depending on what I want to grow, I might have to do things differently next year. Like my carrots went well, they grew well, but like you said, the tomatoes, it was weird. It was weird and hard on tomatoes. I struggled a little bit with my lettuce and spinach only because I don't do succession planting. So yeah, and that's my fault. It's just because I'm too lazy to do it.
Yeah, you have to
By the
organize.
time it's ready to harvest, it's like, okay, well, we're gonna eat lettuce for the next 2 weeks, people.
Well, your rabbits would benefit from it.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I mean, whatever I can.
I never throw away any leafy vegetables. Never, even if they went to seeds. Like I kept every single heads. Well, not the heads, but like the broccoli, the plant, the trunk of it. All of my rabbits, like every day I was harvesting a broccoli, and sometimes the broccoli has side shoots, and so the broccoli, I left it all the way down to the freeze. When I heard my first frost, when I saw that there was nothing coming out of it anymore, I was going to the rabbits. And the same thing with my Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, lettuce, my kale, Swiss chard. They ate like pigs.
Carolyn, you're probably gone, but
Bye. Or I should say they ate like kings and queens.
It's getting crazy. We are only really buying things we can grow and then do last a few months. Can you imagine? Yeah. I can't imagine if I didn't have all that food, what it would cost doing the grocery. Because honestly, it's not just that it would cost a lot. It's you need that money for something else. And everything else is more expensive. I mean, I used to not even worry about the gas in my budget to go to work.
Yeah.
But now I have to put money aside to put gas in my car.
There's another side to grocery that I don't think anyone's realizing. Today I was going and I was like summing, like as I go, I kind of add up the totals like to somewhat see if I'm in budget or not. And I wanted to do a lasagna. like Angie, but instead of doing it like a lasagna style, I wanted to use the pasta, roll them and put cream cheese, sour cream and something else and like roll them with spinach that I've frozen. And I took like a couple of ingredients in my hands and I was like, I can't afford it. Like it's going to bust my budget from like $30 to $40. And so I put it back. But then if I do that, and then 50 other people does that, at the end of the month, this is something that drives me completely crazy. We are still in the world of consumption. How many things end up in the dumpster because they didn't sell it at the ridiculous price? That's something that just like, every time I go at the grocery store, I'm like, oh, that's too expensive. I can't buy it. But everyone's broke at the moment. So I guess there's a lot of it that's going to go to waste. Where do you go?
I don't know. I think you went to get a refill.
We didn't say squash.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what how much they throw in the garbage. There's always that like fruit fruit and veggies about to go bad. They've always got like a
Yeah, they do that now in most of the grocery store. They have like this rack of 30% off.
Yeah.
No, dumpsters here, I don't know in your area, here they're locked. And you can't have access to them. And like my dad used to work at Walmart prior to everything. And they threw out on a daily basis probably like 200 to 300 pounds of food. Like potatoes that started germinating They were still firm, but like there's little knobs on them. They would throw them out. So I'm like, well, you can just remove the knobs and then offer it to a organization that feeds the, I hate saying this word, but like poor. But they can't send it to any organization because it's their policy. So they just throw it in a dumpster and they lock them. We don't have access to them. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but here they're all locked up. Where'd you go?
Refill.
Oh, right. But we didn't say squash.
You don't need to say it.
I'm behaving. I kind of took a little too much on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. No, I think it was, when was it? We were talking on the chat.
Yeah, maybe the day before New
Day
Year's
after Christmas?
Eve.
Anyways, it's either the day of Christmas or after.
You were too drunk to remember.
No, I was not that drunk. Because the next day I didn't have liver problems or headaches. So I was fine. It's just, we're getting old.
I just want to catch up on the comments a little bit.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. It's past my bedtime. I'm going to sign off.
Oh,
all right,
no.
thank you. Well, I'm about to drop off too anyway, but thank you and Happy New Year.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you guys soon, eh?
Bye. I'll let you catch up on your comments.
No worries. Making salad from the greenhouse and it will slow down till mid-February. I wish I had that here.
I want to set up my salad. I have 50 plug trays in MI Gardener. Luke from MI Gardener had a video last year of leafy lettuce in a 50 cell tray. So he put potting soil and he would sow one row the first week, and then the week after that sow the second row, the week after that sow the other row, and then have like a rotational just with 150 plug tray. I was thinking of doing that, like 3 rows of lettuce and like one maybe of basil and one of like maybe cilantro or spinach. It would be nice to have greens.
Yeah. I don't know if it would grow well. Well, the soil's probably going to freeze soon if it's not already frozen.
I wouldn't put anything in. Like I have my female rabbit is on the ground right now. So if I sow anything, she's gonna eat it.
That's pretty cool, Marilyn. And you'd be surprised to know that around here, there's probably a lot of people that need help like that.
Yeah.
Or like with food or shelter. And last year, I was willing to give a basket away. Like I wanted to give vegetables, eggs, chicken, and so on. And I couldn't find anyone because either they don't want to share names, or when you want to give it to the food bank, it has to be like approved by whatever. Yeah, whatever, so on. So you have to find someone and give it to that person yourself. And the only way that I found to do that was to go through school. I'm like, look, you don't even have to give me the name. Just tell me you found someone that's willing to take the food. I'm giving food for free. I'm going to give fresh carrots, fresh cucumbers, fresh potatoes, a chicken, something that someone can cook for Thanksgiving and have a nice meal.
Yeah.
I'll give some eggs, some fruits, maybe some apples. You don't even have to tell them it's from me. You don't even have to tell me who it was for. Just find someone. I'll give it to you at school and you give it to the kids or the family.
Yeah, but liability, they don't want to be responsible. So.
Yeah, but it sucks because
it does.
Come here and grab it on my tree if you need to eat. Like, give me a call.
Well,
say, hey.
What you can do is write a community post. Like we have a community group for my village, and you can write, I am sponsoring one basket for one family. You can remain anonymous. I can put it in a basket. You just pick it up. Obviously, the person has to contact you, but you could do it that way. I know that churches sometimes They are aware of families that are like recently established in the village or in the town, and they could give you their information. But because of liability, they don't want to take out. Well, I don't like saying that, but outsider food. So this year, I wanted to do that last year, but this year we had Christmas baskets. So people came door to door and they were accepting donations. And I don't have a lot of canned food. So I gave sugar, crackers, pasta, and I think I gave fish and chickpeas.
Yeah,
So
I had a few can of soups that were.
yeah, I don't buy a lot of canned goods, but like I always make sure like around Christmas time to buy a couple. And yes, Dave, the answer is the Teachers Association have received an offer. Now the teachers have to vote for it. If the teachers go for it, the strike will not happen in January. If the teachers don't agree with it, we're gonna go on a open strike. No, what is it called?
Illegal strike?
No, it's not. It's legal. What do you call it? Unlimited. But I doubt they're not gonna. I doubt it. Like none. Like some teachers have not had salary for 5 weeks.
Yeah, it has to be hard on them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not necessarily the teachers deciding; it's the union.
So basically, they voted.
Yeah, they voted to go on strike, but I voted to go on strike too back in 2020.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that I was not going to get money for like 2 weeks, I didn't think it was going to last that long. I didn't think that it was going to affect me that much. Like, yeah, let's go on strike.
I think it bit them in the butt because they thought that if they announced officially they were going unlimited, they probably did that as a logical thing. But in the end, it bit them in the butt.
Yeah.
Like 5 weeks. So imagine this. You're 5 weeks, no pay. Let's just say that you're like 2 people family with children and you still have one working. So that means you're down one salary. So you can still somewhat function. Nowadays, probably not. They probably like have so many situations going on. But try to picture some families that are both of the parents are teachers, or one is an employee of the school and the school was off and they were not paid for 5 weeks. The two of them, like mother and father, or like mother, whatever, like the two spouses are without salary for 5 weeks during Christmas time.
That's insane, especially around Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm still like, I've been skipping comments, not skipping them in my head. I've been reading them, but not showing them on screen while you guys were talking. And I'm still behind. That's nice. That's fun to have.
Dave, for my part, your last comment, I'm doing way better. Like I haven't been doing much. So it is winter for me, like physically and mentally. So I am resting. I am reading a lot, studying a lot. And the kids, since it's raining, starting to get on their nerves because they can't go outside. They're stuck inside the house 24/7 for 1 week. Their routine is out of whack. So they go to bed like super, super late. They wake up super, super early. And then like we flip it around. They go to bed super, super late. And then they wake up super, super late. And into that, 2 of my children were sick. Philip was feverish on the 24th and 25th. But like he was fine. Just fever. We have no idea what it is. So he could be... his molar could be coming out. It could be like a little virus. And then Cedric was sick also for a couple of days. But we don't know what it is. So rest is the key. Well, actually, now I have kind of no choice. I fell again in my house. Yeah, super logical.
It's funny, not funny.
I mean, it's not funny. So I'm gonna tell you this. If you're renovating and you think you're just, oh, we're not done. We're just gonna put the tools in this area, and like whenever we're gonna after the holidays, we're gonna get back into renovating. Do yourself a favor and take the extension cords of your tools, roll them and tie them and put them away in a far location. I tripped on I think it was like a chain, not a saw, whatever, and I fell in the stairs. I was grabbing a Happy New Year. I was grabbing an applesauce in the office, tripped on that extension cord, and smashed the side of my body on wood stairs on the 24th, on morning before Christmas. So sick kiddos and me falling kind of forced us to rest a lot, which is good.
Yeah, there's always something happening, and I feel like I'm not a religious person, but I feel like there's always like a power out there somewhere.
No, spiritual.
Yeah, well, it's like life is showing us when it's time to rest.
Someone had a message to tell me. You didn't have to smash that hard, though. I would have listened the first time.
Yeah, but sometimes we say that, and
yeah. Well, I've been doing almost nothing, like other than keep maintaining my house, like doing dishes, like washing the clothes, studying, not going to bed too late.
mm-hmm.
But I guess there was like another smack in the face I needed just before the year end to make sure that I rest. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
We on occasion get hit up from our neighbors from repairs, gas, or meal. I do hit back when... Oh, okay. I was just reading one of the comments.
Yeah. Give a little, get a little, I guess. Glenn and Jessica are gone, but it's true, they moved. That's why I didn't see them as much lately. Marilyn is awesome, and she thinks she's not. What does she know about being awesome, right? Marilyn, you're awesome. So they're gone. Okay. Asking a question for you. That's what you were reading. That's for you guys, tools and materials still laying around. There's so many things. Just look behind me.
Yeah, that's what my office looks like right now. So we converted my husband's office into a pantry for my canned goods. And I'm somewhat hoping that I can open my massage table in there. So like have a multifunction room so that I can practice on my husband and on my children or my sister, whatever, when she comes here. But I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. It would be nice to have like a multifunction room.
You take what you get.
Yeah, well, now that I fell, I have a hard time. Like, it's my left arm. I have a hard time putting my hands up. Like, this one goes up to here, but this one like goes up to here. It's like I still can't lift. Like, I have to force. Same thing. Here I can go far. Here I can't. Like, this is the furthest. Like, there's something stuck here. Like nerves or like... I hope nothing's broken because I can move it. So I doubt
if you can move it that way, it's not broken.
Yeah, but like I fell like this. So the stair was like here, here, and here.
It could be even just a muscle. Or,
yeah.
Take care, Thomas. Wickershire Project Off-Grid. This is awesome.
Winter.
Something you can be proud.
Yeah.
Very, very good deed.
Well, regardless of the amount, making a difference somewhere is always fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I remember going to the grocery store, and the owner of the grocery store came to me and said, look, I don't want to put you in a position where you feel uncomfortable. I I want to offer you a meal for the holidays. Would you accept if I give you a basket of food? I'm like, well, yeah. Like, I mean, it's not something you're necessarily proud of, but you have nothing to be ashamed. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. I feel like I need it. I'll take it. And he gave me like a bag of potatoes, a bag of carrots, a turnip, and a chicken.
That's
It it,
nice.
it wasn't like, I think he gave me one of those Christmas cake.
Turkeys. That's nice.
Yeah,
I was in a position that I needed it for 3 years,
yeah,
and
and there's nothing wrong with that.
it
We
well,
life's a bitch.
yeah, but you kind. I gave my entire childhood. I was the one going door to door, asking for non-perishable food, delivering the Christmas baskets, seeing the poverty, seeing the children, seeing like stuff that you guys will never want to see in a lifetime. And then I was put in the position that I needed to request my first one, and it took everything of me to request it.
You don't want people to see that you're vulnerable.
No, well, I think it's pride more than anything. But seeing like the food that okay, so obviously there's some stuff that we didn't eat because like it's not something you don't make requests, so you just get what they have. So there was something that I was able to pass along to people, so I was able to share. But when like you see all that food coming in, like you somewhat feel more secure. Like, okay, I can take this food and make it last for at least 6 to 9 months, and then my garden's going to provide a little bit. And then the year after, I said, okay, I won't need it, and then I turned around and I told my husband, like, we're going to need it because
I keep wondering, I keep asking myself, what would happen if everyone that's able to grow food? I mean, I know people in the city can't really grow like a 20 by 30 garden, right? Like they can probably grow like a few herbs next to the window, but people that could grow a garden, what would happen if they all did? The price would go down. They would have to bring the price down.
I don't know. If like you're talking about riding a unicorn right now, because people will have to get their hands dirty.
Yeah, most people don't want to do it, but
no. Well, I'm not saying like the expression hands dirty. I mean the actual fact of like
putting your hands in the soil and doing something. Yeah.
There's some people that say they do not enjoy playing with dirt, getting dirty, being exposed to the sun, being exposed to the elements, feel the frustrations of failure. There's a lot of people that don't deal well with failure.
Yep.
But yes, if we ride that unicorn and everyone grows food, definitely the prices will have to go down.
Yep. And all we can do is teach, keep sharing the stuff we do, and hope for the best. Just one last question before we go, because I've been on for 3 hours. Any plans for 2024?
For me?
Regarding your YouTube channel or homestead?
I'm not there yet. Since I crashed this year pretty hard, I know that I'm changing a lot of stuff for next year. So since I came to accept that I can't grow it all, I'm bringing down my number of everything that I do. So let's just say that I was doing 100 and something tomato plants. I'm going to bring it down 25% minimum. And I'm going to look for second quality tomatoes, second quality peppers, squash, summer squash. And I'm going to go and maybe like find some sources. I don't think I'll be growing cabbages as much as I used to. I think I'm going to have like one row of cabbage and one row of like cauliflower and broccoli, like not for freezing purposes, like for fresh eating. So stuff that I was growing for preserving is going to be onions, garlic, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and the rest. I'm going to give myself like a buffer year to find where my place is, or I don't know if I'm saying it right. As for my YouTube channel, I'm definitely going to stop pressuring myself with numbers and logistics of the content creator. So that means as a content creator, we have to publish certain amount of videos, certain amount of lives, certain amount of like shorts to be out there. But since I was so focused on that, I was not focusing on creating content. I was like focusing on the logistics of the channel, which
Putting
is
stuff out there instead of quality, more quantity than quality.
so
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep the one video a week, one live a week. But I haven't figured out if, like you, you're changing a little bit the flavor of your channel.
Mhm.
I did ask my viewers if there's like special things they wanted me to explore, like more holistic, or like more canning stuff, like to find the love language that my viewers like. I came up empty-handed, so I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I know that I want to shift a little bit to more me, but I also want to answer some of the questions out there. So I guess this one's going to be like a week per week.
Okay. Makes
But
sense.
definitely the niche needs to stop being super wide. Like 1 week it's that, 1 week is that. So I kind of somewhat understand why Hickory Croft Farm went with multiple channels. So I have a French channel. Maybe I can like have one type of content there and then have another type of content on Back to Basics. But I don't know. I'm not there yet. Like I try not to put too much pressure. There is the pantry challenge that I will be doing. That's starting January 1st. I'm starting it January 5th. Because like I'm so drunk on the holidays. Well, not drunk alcohol, but I mean drunk like buzzed from all the holidays. So I kind of give myself like a week buffer, and then I'll see from there.
Makes sense. Just to let the viewers know, there's 22 people that voted on my little survey.
Ooh,
32% say that they're afraid of bears.
I am afraid of bears.
32% say that it's moose. Cougars is winning, 36%. 0% for deer. And yet, the little quiz that I took online says that the deer is the most dangerous animal.
Really?
Yeah, but I think that all they did was check the stats of how many people died because of deer.
Well, it's because of the smash into cars. Yeah.
Yeah, and
do we have cougars here?
It's a tough one. It's a tough question. I know for a fact that I saw one here in New Brunswick about 10 years ago.
That's why I answered bears. Like I was being logistics. Like I don't remember seeing.
Yeah, well, I said cougars. It could have been lynx as well.
Lynx we have. Lynx I think we have.
I'm pretty sure we have cougars as well because I saw one.
Okay, so Dave, Team Cougar. What are you talking about? The animal or the concept? Just wondering.
I think he's talking about the women.
The concept? The channel. Try to produce 2 videos a month and stay off grid topic. Our stories are amusing. I have to reach out to more companies too. I haven't had the pleasure of having people reaching out to me, although I kind of refuse all of them. I always think they're like what Lynn had to go through.
Yeah. You have to be careful. I try not to download anything. Usually what I'll do is simply reply to them, asking them, okay, I may be interested, but what do you need from me?
Yeah, I could do that. But I'm so scared of being cloned. I mean, hacked.
There were a few ones that were like, okay, well, we want you to buy this product from Amazon. We will send you an e-transfer.
Yeah.
And buy the item, and when you're done, we will send you like the rest of the 25%. So when that happens, I'll go on Amazon and I'll be like, okay, this company is legit. They can't hack Amazon. Like, I mean, it has to be real people giving their opinion on the company.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go and read the comments. I will check the product, look online to see if the product is available somewhere else. Is it a good price? They send me $200 to buy something that's worth $250. That means I'm going to have to pay $50 from my own pocket.
Yeah.
If it's not working, am I taking too much of a big risk? Things like that. I'm like, okay, well, it's Amazon. They will refund me if something happens that it's not working.
Yeah.
You know, like you're protected somehow. So those companies, I'll be like, okay, yes, I'll do it. And most of the time, they'll send you the product. Okay, I made the purchase for you. It's going your way. Okay.
I've done one. So I have the drone, the same company that approached you.
Okay.
So I've made the drone. I still haven't figured out how to work it. My children on the other side loves it. They just look at the manette and and the drone goes everywhere. I'm not tech savvy, but like they approached me, so I did that. Then I was approached with other stuff, but it's stuff that I don't use.
Yeah.
Like there was one that was like a booster of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they approached me as well. And I told them, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be interested, but it's winter here in Canada. We're not having like fires around the house or anything like that. And that would be the perfect time for us to try it out.
Yeah, I had that, and I had lights under the cabinets, like chargeable or something like that.
I didn't
But
have
that one I started looking, and there was like too many bad comments, so I never responded. But the Wi-Fi, like Fred's like super tech savvy, so I'm sure that we have everything we need, everything we're covered here at the house. So I did not respond. But like mason jars or like lids, or I wasn't approached by.
I have the drone. I had the humidifier. It's not necessarily something that's really related to my channel per se, but I show that, you know, I have a family of 5 kids, and
Yeah.
I show the struggle of all the goods and the bads of having a big family.
Yeah.
And kids get sick. They need, you know, a humidifier. And I'm still waiting for a pair of shoes coming in from another company.
Oh, from the one from Lynn?
Yeah, the same one from Lynn. I didn't see her video. Did she put it out? Did you see it? Maybe not.
I'm not too much on social media. Like I haven't published anything or been on YouTube for
A
while.
Yeah. Well, I have that. I also have, what else do I have? I got like 3 already this year. There was the drone, there was a humidifier, and
I would love to do there is one I saw. It's a mason jar sealer. I don't know if you've seen that one.
no.
So
This was the other one.
I saw that one. I saw that video. What's it called? So you have a wide mouth or regular mouth mason jar, and it's a device that you put on your lid.
It vacuum seals.
It vacuum seals it. So I'm like, if you have like sugar that you have a 10-pound sugar and you want to put it in gallon size mason jars, then you can. And you can seal it. So let's just say that I have 3 jars of chamomile last year, and the 3rd jar was not as tasteful as the 1st jar because like it was not vacuum sealed. So if I would have vacuum sealed it, when I would open it, it would smell and taste exactly the same as the 1st jar.
Okay.
But I haven't found anyone that does it. It would be nice. I would love to do that. Like I think my coffee, my water, everything is in mason jar. I actually drink wine in mason jars.
We have so much. We have so much.
Like my mom comes here and I handed her out a 250 ml mason jar as a glass. And she's like, you don't have glasses? I'm like, Mom, I have gajillion, billion, zillions mason jars. Like, why would I go to the store and buy, even if it's used, $1 or 25 cents a glass? Like, I have all of these jars here already. So why? Okay, I'm just gonna use my jars.
Yeah. And Wickershire Project, I understand totally what you're saying. That's usually one of the questions I ask them before I accept the conditions of the contract. What happens if I really don't like it? Most of the time, they'll be like, well, you can return it. Return it, no cost, no fee. Um, but the stuff I've tried so far has been good.
That mini chainsaw must be cool.
Yeah, and they, I figured they're just saying whatever because they want me to sponsor their stuff, and they're not really watching my videos and whatever. So I make the video about the 4 inches chainsaw. I don't think I have it here. That's a 6 inches. And I'm like, I'm talking and I just go like this with the chainsaw, being like, oh, I wonder if it would work on the cedars. Oh no, it doesn't. And I just casually talk about it. And then they send me an email. Hey, we saw your video, and if you want to have the trimmer to work around your cedars, we can send you one of those. Sure, why not? Like, go ahead. Then they sent me an email saying that it was they were out of it and they were going to send me this one instead. So this one is a little bit bigger. It comes with a kit and more batteries and all that kind of stuff.
What brand is it?
It's a Sacker. It's pretty cool. I love that you have something to protect your hand.
Toys.
Yeah, well, it's it's actually pretty good. It works very, very well.
You do know that you blew into your microphone, right?
Yeah, sorry, people.
My ears.
Yeah.
A little abrasive.
It's working very well. The 4 inches one, I was able to cut a tree about like maybe 6 inches diameter. And this one is a 6 inches. Let's send some of those chainsaw. Yeah, this one doesn't kick too bad. It doesn't have like a big kickback at all. But the stuff is actually pretty good. They send
I hope
me
you
stuff.
won't get flagged as a chainsaw massacre.
But I received once it was concentrated coffee from JV.
Yes.
JAVY. Honestly, the coffee was delicious.
I am so surprised that no coffee company has approached me. I always have a cup of coffee in my videos, not because I want to show that I'm drinking coffee. It's just I enjoy drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And I wasn't approached.
It's weird. And maybe I should send them an email, say, hey, send some to that girl. Yeah. But honestly, I did the video, and I said in the video, I said, I love it. It would be good in this situation and in this situation. Will I buy it? Personally, no, because I prefer the K-Cups.
I don't do K-Cups.
But I have a Keurig machine, and it's just easier for me. That's it.
I think if I had K-Cups, I would drink like 3-4 cups a day. But because I have the beans, so I have to like transform the beans into powder, and then I do the pour over method. So then you have to boil your water, take out your filter, put the powder, pour the water, wait.
Really good delicious coffee.
It's a long process, but like you cannot compare like pour to K-Cups. Like there are some that are the coffee channels. Well, I love tea blends also, so warm beverages. Like I was never approached by any companies for tea blends, or I did ask one company. I said, do you want to sponsor, or do you want me to give me a coupon code? And I asked another one of my friends, and she's like, I can't do that. Like I'm already selling it so low because I'm like super young into the business, I cannot add a coupon code. And then the other one says, I'm not big enough. I don't want to do that. So I was refused the 2 times that I asked. So now I'm kind of shy to ask.
Yeah. Well, there's you see those companies, the people that the channels, when you see a channel sponsored by whatever, sharing something, those are the ones you have to approach. Like the company sponsoring me a pair of shoes, those would be good ones for you to try. You could
I'm
send
very
them an
picky
email.
for shoes, very, very picky. But yeah, sure.
But I mean, that's the thing. You send them an email. You say, "Hey, you sponsored a friend of mine a pair of shoes. I have a channel of 3,000 subscribers now. Congratulations,
Yes,
by the way.
yes, 3,000 subs. I was so excited this morning.
And would you be willing to do the same for me? I'd like to try a pair of shoes and do a video on them. And you can be honest about it. And I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? You
Yeah.
don't like something, but you don't necessarily have to say, "Well, I didn't really like the color. It's not the color." Well, you still, they give you a few choices. Um,
Mhm.
you check on the website. I took the one that I wanted to try. I ordered some slip-on sneakers, which was kind of cool. I don't know. I thought it was cool. They're black, but if
I
I
like
don't,
the comment of Marilyn. Annie has a sticker telling I'm fueled by coffee, seeds, and tomatoes. Yes. But it seems it was not on the cards for me this year. Maybe in 2024, someone's going to understand that I enjoy coffee and will sponsor me. We should be doing another grub Terra chicken treat. Yeah, I saw that. There's a lot of people that get sponsored with them.
too bad they don't ship in Canada, because we could have sponsorship by them.
Yeah, I lost my light.
Well, I'm gonna go anyway. I've been on for over 3 hours now, and Coffee Channel with Annie. I'm just gonna take some time, just a few seconds, to wish you all a happy New Year. Hopefully, your Christmas was wonderful. I had a sick kid, and luckily, he was feeling well enough to come and open the presents of my parents, and then we had to leave. But hopefully, 2024 will be the best year ever for each and every one of you. And let's grow food and let's show the world what we can do.
What's Luke's motto?
Grow big or grow home. Grow big or go home.
Yeah. Let's do better than yesterday. So let's do better than 2023.
Yep, exactly.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. And if Darren, you're watching the replay at some point, which I doubt you will, but anyway.
3-hour replay is quite long.
All right. Take care, everyone. Happy
Bye.
New Year. And it was nice to have you here. Take care.
40 seems to be age you find out the meaning of life.